O'Riordan. Do you say O'Riordan? O'Riordan. Amati. Watling. Schumacher.
Cash. Thank you. 2 Cokes. Thank you. You want Coke?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Just a Coke.
3 Cokes.
3 Cokes.
And whatever you want.
And we'll chat half time later, whatever, about Prezzo night.
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay? Were you okay with?
I think that's fantastic.
Okay, right.
Well,
Whatever's
again,
fine.
you know what my big thing is?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as long as you get people and put them in positions where they're strong.
Yeah.
Your strength,
Yeah.
that, my strength, the other side.
All right.
And I think together,
Okay.
it's going to be like yin and yang.
Well, I wanted to chat to you first before I said.
Current bunny, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
And plus, afterwards, we can just go get some
Yeah.
apples.
Oh, yeah, right. I might try and stay in Sydney and pretend I work for a day.
On Monday?
Yeah.
So Monday night too.
Which is a possibility.
Oh, shit.
Oh, toss is up. Bell versus...
That's a poor coin toss. In a moment, yep.
In a moment. Now, Pricey, the other thing, I'm going to blow up again at Jess Webster in a minute. Sydney have got no numbers on the front of their jumpers.
Yeah, but they're the only NEFL club, only AFL club who refuses to buy a set
That's
of
right.
NEFL.
That's right.
And it's not their fault, it's them being big.
I know. But I just want to add that.
They can afford to pay Buddy Franklin, the gross domestic product of a small African nation every year. But they cannot buy a set
and
of
Kurt Tibbett.
jumpers.
And Kurt Tibbett to sit around,
$800,000 a year.
twiddle his thumbs.
I reckon it should be. Should we just bake them?
Well, I think about names. I think about things today, and all right. I was just wondering if Cox and Allison can combine today.
No, stop it.
And here we are at South Pine Sports Complex for NEFL Round 8. The Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans. We're streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. G'day, Kanga. Beautiful day for footy.
Great to be here, Pricey. I don't think we can get better conditions here in Queensland. A little bit of rain overnight in some parts of Brisbane, but the ground looks in beautiful nick. Couple of late changes for Sydney, unfortunately, probably just favouring the Lions a little bit now with Gary Rowan coming out and also Jake Brown. So they're withdrawals. On the other side, we've got the inclusions of Cooper Kilpatrick, who's making his NEFL debut today, and Jordan Adams also comes in, the boy from Pennant Hills. So he'll be looking to impress, and he's very good around the footy. Bit of hardness, him. And, of course, the Lions, they're going to be at it. They're on fire at the moment.
They are on fire. It's a very deep list that the Lions have got at AFL standard through to the NEFL, and the players are just breaking away from their huddles, ready to get for the action at South Pine Sports Complex. Kanga, it's been a bit of a rivalry between the Sydney Swans and the Brisbane Lions over the last couple of years, of course, culminating with that grand final last year. Today, I think the Lions just might have them with a bit of strength across the field. Only about 11 players listed for Sydney at the minute.
Yeah, look, Sydney had a wonderful win last week against Southport, and I think really put their season back on track. They've been around, they've been very competitive, but the Lions look strong. They've got 18 listed or rookie players out there, and they've just been rolling along. They only had the one little blemish up at the NT, up in Darwin in round 1, but since then they have been dominant against every side they've played.
Well, both sides coming off a big win. Last week, Brisbane defeated Redland by 66 points at Redland, and Sydney belted Southport by 88 points. We're underway for round 8 of NEFL TV. Here's the voice of Mark Kennedy.
South Pine Sporting Complex, we're around. Oh, we're away. Archie Smith, handball. Cox looks to combine with Allison. Can't quite do so. Towers is there for the Swans. Plenty of players around the contest early. Bell just clears it, gets it back into the middle of the ground. A player tackle without the ball. That's Reece Matheson, so he'll win the free kick. Advantage paid. Up towards forward 50. The target was Walker. Maybaum's there with him, and he'll mop up. And Sydney, they'll bring it away. And just holding on to the ball there defensively was Nick Newman.
So Nick Newman, Frankston product, 30 metres out from his own goal. Lions have set up reasonably well. He uses the left foot to effect, gets it to half back. Just nudged under the ball, Bastanak. Got his hands to it. Picked up there by Wicks. Long kick down the outer side. It's not going to favour anybody much. It's heading towards the boundary line. Maybe Liam Dawson will keep it in. He does. No, he doesn't. A little bit of drama there from the boundary umpire, just keeping it late in front of the scoreboard. And we'll get a throw in at right half forward for the Brisbane Lions. As we said before, Kang, a beautiful day for football here. There's a bit of a breeze that might be favouring the northern end. Sydney won the toss.
So Darcy Cameron and Archie Smith. No real clear winner. Bell will come away with it. Now Keys just goes hurriedly on the left. Still on that outer side. Half back it is. Chasing it there was Mays, but it beats him over the line. We'll have a throw in. Opening exchanges here. South Pine Sporting Complex. Of course, the NEFL beautifully partnered by Bar TV for this production. And Elastoplast support the NEFL competition here. Bell has his handball smothered. Lester's there. Bell again. Smith and Keys combined with Mays. Now back with a bit of leg speed was Keys, but unfortunately can't skirt the boundary line well enough. And the ball on that outer wing will be thrown in yet again.
Just having a look at the cherry picker on the outer side. Geez, you'd want some danger money. That's a lonely little solo grandstand spot at the side on the outer wing. Archie Smith gets to the front in front of Cameron. It's towed off the deck. Goes back towards the boundary line. Aaliyah. Can he get away? He does, but he turns the ball over, and Matheson. He's the best in the business at that, isn't he?
Well,
just adjust the body. And
Joel Selwood's pretty good at it too.
The Selwood shrug. Well, he is a Geelong under-18, Matheson. He comes around on the right foot, kicks it towards forward 50, off the hands. And well rove there by Corey Lyons. He went for the shrug himself. Nothing happening over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in, left forward pocket.
And of course, these two sides met once before in season 2018. It was the Lions by 50 points up at the Moreton Bay Sports Complex, and they played off in the grand final for the NEFL in a thriller last year with the Lions coming out on top.
Well done, Darcy Cameron got rid of his opponent. Towed the ball forward. Keys going in hard. He's got Cedric Cox in support. He ends up with the ball, Cox, but over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in. This time it's at left half forward for the Brisbane Lions. Yet to score. 3 minutes 15 gone. First term NEFL TV.
They've certainly had their hands on the ball a fair bit more in these early exchanges, have the Lions. Darcy Cameron takes it out of the ruck and is tackled by Archie Smith, so he'll win the free kick. Here's something meaningful in terms of a build-up. Kicks it high, looking for a big target. Walker was that man, but Aaliyah got his hands on it, couldn't mark it, but then just tries to clear it quickly. Nick Newman is the man that chases it. Dawson's there, first to it. Gets it back. The kick wasn't a wonderful one. Rose was there. Tip and Woody was there also. Well done as the Swans take it away. Newman, the foot races on. And a bloke who loves the run, loves the leg is this man, Rose. Rose will just take it and just bombs it well offline. Will it stay in? Yes, it will. And Bell will just mop it up deep in defence.
Pitched like a beautiful sand wedge out of the bunker there. Bastanak, the left foot. Tries to measure the pass. Doesn't quite hit his teammate. Good support there by Hinge. He slaps it towards the boundary line. Swans with the numbers now. Comes out with a Marty, and the ball's over the boundary line again. And we'll get another throw in. So bit of an arm wrestle to start with 4.5 minutes gone to the first term here at South Pine Sports Complex. We've got Archie Smith and Darcy Cameron in the ruck.
Front spot is Cameron. Towers takes it away. Good hit out to advantage. Right to forward 50. Rose is the target. Well done there by the defence of Dawson. Rose, though, gets back on it quickly. Just tries to square it up and does it nicely. And finds Styles.
Yeah, disciplined play there by Rose. He's got some talent. He averages 2.5 goals per game last year. He kicked 4 goals last week himself, but that time just lowered the eyes, had a good look and hit his teammate.
I said it was Styles. It was actually Bailey Stewart. My apologies. The boy from East Coast. So Bailey Stewart, just 19 years of age. His birthday on Monday, just gone, lines it up, swings it back a little bit on the breeze, and the first score on the board goes the way of the Sydney Swans. One straight, leading the Lions yet to score. We have played some 5 3/4 minutes of this first quarter.
Bit of a fluky breeze, as you saw. He hit that to the right goalpost, and it just basically came back in. That's the breeze slightly favouring the northern end that Sydney are kicking to at the moment. But yet again, good finish from a young fella in Bailey Stewart. Once again, got to point out the good targeting of James Rose, who just lowered the eyes, and that's what you've got to do under pressure. When the Lions have got all of those numbers back, you've got to drop the eyes and not just bomb it up to their defence because it's playing into their hands.
Well, he's been around the mark for quite a while as James Rose, as a player, around that fringe. Hasn't been able to quite crack some consistent senior AFL action, but he's a wonderful player in this level of competition.
Back in the middle, Darcy Cameron gets the tap down for Sydney. It's shark there, though, by Brisbane. The ball spills, though. Still a bit of a contest in the middle. Fox gets involved. Now they'll have a bit of a run. Ball gets handballed out into the wide open spaces. Young bloke in Kilpatrick making his debut. Turns it over there. Jack Frost takes the mark in defence for Brisbane. Wants to change play, gives it to Keys in the left back pocket. They'll just get held up. Keys is going to come back across to the commentary side. Goes to the right back pocket and hits Bastanak. Again, it's a stagnant build-up. Sydney with their numbers forward, really plugging it up. So Bastanak is going to come down the commentary side, looking for Archie Smith, and he just got held up there by Darcy Cameron and floating across beautifully. Well done by Rogers, who took the mark. Kicks it inside 50. Big pack of players. Lions with the numbers. Paparone gets the handball back. It's going to come back out to Cedric Cox at right half back. Can't control it. He was confronted there by Stewart, who's had a fine opening to the game. Ball close to the boundary line. Sydney desperate to keep it in. The Lions desperate to get it out of here. Smith can't get the handball away. Sydney with the numbers. Alia's going to be on the end of this. He does get it. Tackled as he scrubs it forward. Gets up to half forward. Bailey Stewart very active. Lowers the eyes and hits Tip and Woody. What a great little passage of play for Bailey Stewart. He's kicked the goal. He's had about 3 touches in that passage. Bit scrappy from Sydney, but they're effective.
Well, what I like is that hard ball. When it's been in the contest, Sydney have been up for the challenge, haven't they? Around just that hardness, those hard ball wins, contested possessions, that's the bread and butter of Sydney Swans.
So Adam Tippenwoody from 40, starts right, curls back, but not quite enough. Started a little bit too right, so it's a behind. 1-1-7 to Sydney, and the Lions yet to score. We've played 8 minutes 15 of the first term on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV.
Playing on to himself there is Dawson, comes to the commentary side of the ground. Darcy Cameron goes to ground, which allows Archie Smith to take an uncontested mark. So at half back, Lions have it. Plenty of numbers up the line. And they're only about 40 metres up the line, so that might give you an idea of the strength of the breeze as it holds up. Walker had front spot and just got there, protected that drop zone nicely in front of Jack Maybaum. Very short. There's one there in Ryan Lester. Just give you, again, just talking about that breeze. They're happy to chip it short, but you notice it just hold up. Jacob Allison with the ball now. Not sure where to go. So just looks for that hit-up target, that half-forward hit-up target. Finds Starcevic. Like the way he's gone about it. Just sits the ball up, looking for the tall timber to come. Archie Smith came hard, couldn't take it. From the back, Lester. Scrubby kick out. Lions feeds the ball backwards to Walker, who in turn does same, but only gives it to Tip and Woody. And the Swans, they're away, and they are down. Open forward line. Foot race on. Jack Frost is the first man there. Armadi in hot pursuit. Can't quite hold on with the tackle. Frost gets it to Cox. Cox is in trouble, but managed to get the handball away. And Dawson, the turnover comes. Tip and Woody again. Chips the ball over, but Cedric Cox does well. Good defensive mark inside his own 50.
He looks out to the commentary wing and then goes to the outer side. Finds Liam Dawson. Dawson now plays on. They're doing it well, just holding the ball up, the Brisbane Lions, as they go down the outer side. It could have been hands in the back from Ryan Lester. It was. Free kick for the Sydney Swans. It's taken by Flanagan. He wants to play on. Bit fumbly as they go down the outer side. In front of the scoreboard, picked up there by Robinson. He gets a handball away. They're under pressure now. It's with Schumack. Schumack from 45. Across the face of goal. It just squeezes in for one behind. So 1-2-8 the Swans. Lions yet to score. 10.5 gone of the first term.
Well, the Swans really need to use this breeze effectively, don't they? They are kicking with the wind. And given the fact that they are a fair deficit in terms of listed or rookie players out there today, you'd suggest that the Lions at some stage are going to come pretty hard. Alir, he's wrapped up as they restart. Having his head ripped off there was a young man in Bailey Stewart. So he'll win the free kick. Just sits it up again. Looking for somebody to come. Brisbane have lots of numbers there, and one of those is Ryan Bastanak, who'll mop it up. Gives it to Allison. He's going to try and work short here, one feels. Try and open up some space. Goes back to Bastanak. Goes out wide, and they have a number way out wide there. It's Mays, and Mays can go the short one and just gets to Paparone in time. Still at half back, out of side.
Paparone in front of the scoreboard. Again measures the pass. It's a beautiful kick, and it's well taken there by Keys. Just being held up again. Sydney locking them in. And the Lions now forced to retreat. Back inside defensive 50. Frost takes the mark. Handball's off to Paparone and then back to Bastanak. Bastanak loops a handball over the top to Dawson. Dawson's got a man in the middle. Hits him beautifully. It's Mitchell Hinge. Handball now to Tom Bell, who runs. A long kick. It's a curler inside 50. Big pack flies. It was a good defensive effort there by O'Riordan for Sydney, but the ball hits the deck. It's Corey Lyons who scrubs one forward. It bounces through for one behind. Bit scrappy, but again, Sydney applying the pressure. The Lions trying to methodically move it in. So we've got 8-1. Sydney leads by 7 points.
I think Tom Bell had Ethan Hunt there close. Might have been able to use him to propel the ball deeper forward or with a bit more penetration. In that instance, Rose. It's the ball. Handballs it over the top to Nick Newman. Best on ground in the NEFL Grand Final a couple of years ago in a losing side against the GWS. Tip and Woody on the outer wing. They're just lining up here with their run. Over the top, finds Wicks. Wicks has the short one, and the target is hit, and it's big Darcy Cameron. Like the cut of his jib.
Oh, he was best on ground for Sydney last week in their spanking of Southport. He kicked a couple of goals. A big unit too. He's 204 centimetres, 100 kilos. From WA, he's a really good prospect for Sydney as far as their ruck stocks go, and he's having a very good time in the NEFL at the minute.
So Darcy Cameron, umpire just giving a little bit of a hurry up, but very deliberate build up. Tight angle, shoots it from 30 and hits the post. So disappointing finish, and again, good goal kicking is good football. It's not quite the finish that the Swans want with the kicking with the aid of the breeze.
A little bit swirly at the minute as Allison kicks it to himself, then plays on. That's a mongrel of a kick. It advantages Sydney, but they can't quite control it. Either can Brisbane, as that's a nicely measured pass from Fox. No, it's not. It actually misses the target he was going for in Dean Towers, and it'll go over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in, left forward pocket. Again, every player on the field is basically in front of the centre square here in Sydney's forward line, so Brisbane with all of their numbers back. The throw in, Smith versus Cameron. Smith gets it. There's about half a dozen bodies there. The ball's not coming out. Umpire says we'll ball it up. As Archie Smith just tries to extricate the ball with Robbie Fox holding onto him. Still a little tight on the clinches. It's still that arm wrestle as we play 15 minutes of the first term here at South Pine Sports Complex. Ball up again, Smith. Taps it into Fox. He's tackled. Ball stuck underneath him. There's going to be more bodies on top. We'll do it all again. So very tight. And it's a style that Sydney play. Very defensive style as well. Brisbane struggling to get their ball out of their back line.
Give that one to Smith. Tap down. Again, plenty of numbers. Tip and Woody tried to come through. Couldn't do it. Take the ball with him on that occasion. Bell. Eventually the ball comes out. And it ends up back with Sydney. Well done. That's Rogers. Goes down deep. Cameron's there. He's the big target. And the ball goes over the back of the pack and rolls through.
It's a big contest there from the Lions' backs, just smashing that ball through and smashing Darcy Cameron in the process as they bring the ball out. It's going to be Mitchell Hinge. Gets it to Liam Dawson, who's had a couple of touches so far in the first turn. That's a dangerous kick, but it finds his target in Justin Curry, making his debut. They want to move it forward by hand. Comes back out to Tom Bell. Comes over his head. He's going to have to go harder than that. Swans player did, and they will end up with the ball. That's, when I say harder than that, perhaps not hitting him in the head. Daniel Robinson gets the free kick. That could be looked at later on in the week as well. Robinson kicks at the left half forward for Sydney. Here's a go. Punched away from Cameron at the back of the pack. Couple of numbers there, including Hinge. He's just going to try and get it over the boundary line. He does, well, it wasn't too well disguised in, but it went over the boundary line. There will be a throw in. Sort of like a little dummy half pass, that one over the sideline.
Very mechanical, robotic little piece of work to put it over the boundary line. Smith from the back. Swans win it though and go around the corner. And the kick from O'Riordan finds the Swans second. And they move out to 2-4-16. The Lions just a solitary behind. 17 minutes into this first quarter. They're just setting up well around the contest and they're hard at it, Pricey.
They certainly are. They're causing a lot of problems too. Once they get the ball inside 50, they just lock it in there too. They keep well structured in front of the ball. The Lions haven't been able to get it out of their defensive area, so they're getting repeat inside 50s. 2-4 probably isn't the return that they would want immediately, but they've certainly got the score on the board over the top of the Lions at the moment. Could be a little bit more. Well, we've played 17 and a half minutes of the first term here at South Pine. It's NEFL round 8. And the Sydney Swans are leading it by 15 points. We're back into the middle. Umpire Chris Mellon will bang it down. Archie Smith versus Joel Amati. Smith will give that one to him. It's picked up by Matheson, immediately set upon. Robbie Fox is one of them, and we'll get another ball up. So, again, very tight, very hard to get away from the clearances.
Lions come off a 6-day turnaround. Just wonder if that's a little bit of a factor in a sluggish start, but Sydney have come to play. Amati in the middle. Cameron couldn't take it. Ground level. Bailey Stewart again. We go back. Newman loads it up. Looking for a target. 3 Lions back there. Bassenak's one of them. Gathers the ball. Now to Bell. Ball off. Now to Keys. It's been one of his criticisms. It's been his kicking, Ben Keys. And then he has forced to lay the tackle as he didn't hit the target.
Yeah.
And now we win the free kick because the Swans player just tried to hatch the ball at half back. So Keys will come up with it.
Yeah, umpire Mellon just circling there like the Sea Eagle. Released his hands and holding the ball. And that's a nice pass. Hits Tom Bell. The handball off to Corey Lyons. He's going to get it down to half forward. Looking for Archie Smith. Ball will drop. Good contest from Josh Walker. And a good second effort. Got the handball to Matheson. He dribbles it inside 50. Lyons with the numbers. Archie Smith chooses to shepherd rather than go for the agate. And that just opened it up for Alia. Just had the option there whether to go for it himself, the big unit, or pull the shepherd. He tried to do the team thing, did the shepherd, but it allowed Alia through and they'll get a ball up.
Just need a little bit more awareness of the space around him and have a look as to where Alia was. Made it a bit easier for him to really blunt the attack. Amati hits it down to Newman. In fact, hits it down in his face. Wrapped up and rolled. There was Fox. And so the Lions, and 50 as well. So this will be their first goal, you'd suggest. You don't want a little bit of a scrap to try and reverse the kick.
There's no doubt about it. Reece Matheson loves it. He just loves that little bit of niggle. I think he plays some of his best footy when he's just feeling that a little bit revved up, Reece Matheson.
So Ryan Lester will come in from the goal square, easy as you like. And the Lions have their first for this afternoon. One answer to the Swans' 2 goals. And the margin now is 9 points, 2-4-16. Sydney, Brisbane, 1-1-7.
Well, the Lions only with a handful of inside 50s compared to the Swans. Still only the 9 points down, and the Swans have been dominant as far as field position goes as well. So the Lions would be feeling quite good about getting a goal on the board.
What's your feeling about the strength of this breeze, Pricey, pushing down to the left of screen or that northern end?
It's got to be a couple of goals, but as we speak, it's kind of swirling and coming back across the ground towards us as well. So I'd say it'd be at least worth a goal or two towards the northern end, which is your left of screen on Neefle TV. We get back in the middle, though. Smith gets it down. Ends up getting his own clearance. Handball to Bell. Scrubs it forward. Starcevic can't control it. And it was actually Ballenden. The ball gets stuck underneath him and a couple of other bodies who jumped on him as well, including Jack Maybaum, and we'll get a ball up.
He's a big boy, Ballenden, isn't he?
Very big unit. He's going to be quite an exciting product for Brisbane moving forward.
Robinson just shuffles the ball out. Jacob Allison, under pressure, gets his kick inside forward 50. Walker!
Gee whiz.
That was good body work there from Walker. Dylan Smith was his direct opponent on that occasion, and the experience of Josh Walker was too much.
Kick 6 last week, 6 goals, 3 in their big win. Averages 21 disposals as well.
So Walker from directly in front, 25 metres out. And he likes it, the umpire likes it, and the Lions like it because it puts them back within 3 points, 2-1-13. The Swans 2-4-16. And again, I think the Lions have identified that they need to match Sydney and around that contest because if they can spread the ball to the outside on their terms, that they're going to be dangerous no matter if they're going to be pushing into the breeze or not.
And it does straighten them up. A bloke like Josh Walker who can clunk a mark as well. As I said, kicked 6 goals last week. He's an obvious target. And he had 2 opponents.
We just see on the boundary line Reece Matheson just being taped up. A little bit of the mummy type action getting around his head. I'll no doubt see him back on the deck before too long.
Bit of a conference about how they're going to apply the sponsors product in elastoplast as well around the melon. As it goes,
to know.
Archie Smith slaps it down. Again, they can't get through. Jake Barrett couldn't get through. It's towed out of the congestion. It gets in front of Paparone. He can't quite control it. Good hassling there. The Sydney defence, but the young fella's copped one. That was an accidental knock to the head. He's still down. Let's have a look how that works out. Oh, it's been intercepted there at centre-half forward by Sydney. Well done there by Styles. He loses the handle on it. The Lions' defence pressuring as well. They're still trying to get at it. Tippin Woody puts himself in for Sydney. Again, it's stuck underneath several. Umpire circling, and we'll get another ball up. It's the young fella there in Kilpatrick making his debut, the Swans Academy member. He went in and just basically copped a shin to the head, but he's okay.
It was friendly fire too. It never helps when you're making your debut anywhere. O'Riordan on the left, right down deep. Rose was there. Frost with the fist. Ball stays in, or no, it doesn't. Happy to concede there was Hinge.
Great effort from James Rose there too. Jack Frost had the sit, and he just made the contest to keep the ball inside 50.
The ball thrown in. Sydney attack. Smith at front spot. Almost grabbed by the arm. One thought. The ball tied up underneath. And coming up from it there is Corey Lyons. Armadi and Smith give it to the ladder. Towers has his kick smothered. Ball will come back away. That handball from Ethan Hunt wasn't one of his finest, but he's been in pretty good form through the national championships, the under-18. Missed the first couple of games with a broken hand, but was very prominent thereafter, the boy from Morningside.
So throw in. Archie Smith at the front. It was a shallow throw in, but so it's advantaging the Lions. Well done there by Keys. Gets the handball off to Allison. The dasher wobbles a kick towards halfback. Picked up there by Flanagan. He's tackled immediately. Loses the ball. It's towed back inside 50. Falls into the waiting arms of Mitchell Hinge. Now he looks to play on immediately and get the ball moving to try and break out of this congestion Sydney has set up. Paparone's got time to fumble, sell the dummy, and then have a bounce. Gets the handball away. Corey Lyons loops it over the top to Tom Bell, who slips and then kicks a big bomb. Alia just gets rid of his opponent with brute strength. Handball to Daniel Robinson. Then they're inside 50, and that's a bit of a wasted kick unless Rose can make it there. It just didn't quite advantage anybody, mostly Ryan Bastanak. Dribbles over the boundary line to get another throw in the left forward pocket. It's a popular spot.
He's a brute of a man, isn't he, Lear?
Oh.
And it was, shouldn't say it was just Brandon Starcevic, but as a listed player, he's no slouch, Brandon Starcevic, but Lear just sheer strength in that marking contest. Smith gets it down. Sydney, they shark the ball, though. Under pressure, they lose it. And the Lions will bring it out of defence. Kicks a scrubby one, and he ends up with Darcy Cameron. So the big unit who can reload. Sits it up, looking for a target. Rose will come from the back. Also there was Towers. Plenty of numbers around there. Marty's there for Sydney. Right underneath it there is Towers again. Hinges there, swinging off Towers, like what I did there, Pricey.
Yes, it's Hinges swinging. Yeah,
We'll have a ball up.
it's just getting better every week, Kanka. It's as we work through the process. It's Archie Smith slapping it down. Towed forward by Keys. Bastanak enters, gets the handball away. Corey Lyons scrubs it across. Defensive 50. Good attack from Cedric Cox, but well done by Rose. Then showed some class to get the ball back. Hooks it around under a lot of pressure. It's going to bring more rain, this one. Comes down. Rose is still down, and the Lions still not out of trouble. It's hacked out of there by Paparone. Fox can't control it. Well picked up by Hinge. Then tackled into the ground. Umpire says holding the ball. They are applying all sorts of pressure, the Sydney Swans, and Robbie Fox. 30 disposals and 11 clearances last week. He's a very good player, the 25-year-old from the Burnie Dockers in Tassie.
Well, you just got to say that Hinge didn't have a good piece of awareness as Fox goes around the corner.
Oh, beautiful kick, but just not enough Weet-Bix this morning. So touch through for one behind. So Swans 2-5-17 to the Lions 2-1-13. It's 4 points the margin. Favour of the Sonnies with 27.5 gone to the first term.
Paparone. He set out looking for Ballenden. Lear was with him, but Ballenden comes away with it. Rose spinning out of trouble. Does it well. And gets a kick away. Towers plays on quickly. Shoots for goal. That is a good finish. A good build-up. And perhaps Towers should go give Rose a rose because he put it on a platter for him.
Lovely. On a silk pillow, the Rose arrived. Well done to Dean Towers. Again, Sydney, if you're going to make them pay with this advantage of the win, you've got to finish. And Dean Towers didn't panic, just took a breath, strode into 40 metres and just banged it straight through the middle. Exactly what Sydney needed. Takes them 10 points the margin late in the first term. So we've got 8 scoring shots to 3. And it's still a little bit of niggle. There is a bit of feeling between these two sides.
I think, am I right in saying that this earlier clash in the year, that Sydney were right in the contest till half time before Brisbane really kicked away?
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is Sydney being ultra competitive early in this match.
We'll see how it pans out as the umpire, Brett Ritchie, bangs it down in the middle of South Pine. Big fly from Ballenden. Well done by Cameron to get the tap down, but it's sharked by Matheson. Scrubs it inside 50 again. Sydney Swans defence through Maybaum. Reject the ball. Take it into the middle. It's with Robinson again. He kicks it inside 50. Oh, that's a good mark from Joel Amati. Just controlled Jack Frost under the ball and took the mark. He's not a small boy either at 196. He kicked 4 goals last week. Let's see what he can do today.
Well, I've been pretty impressed with Marty. When he gets a run at it or the ball's kicked to his advantage, he's a presence.
Another one off the rookie list too. Number 28 in the 2018 rookie draft. He's going to come in and he'll let this one go from around about 45 directly in front. Gets reasonable purchase on it. Goal umpire doesn't move. What a beautiful kick from Joel Amati, and Sydney Swans get their fourth. They're 4-5-29 to the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13. Back out to a 16-point lead late in the first term.
Well, the Swans, they've been able to repel much of Brisbane's attack and blunt their influence that their listed and rookie players have provided thus far. And it's players like Rose, Towers, Robinson. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Tip and Woody. And Lear has been resolute down back so far.
Getting some assistance too from Jack Naybaum, Nick Newman. Players that have got a bit of senior experience as well.
At South Pine we go again. Ballenden in the ruck against Cameron. Robinson couldn't take it with him. Ballenden shrugs a tackle, kicks it long inside forward 50. Doesn't really hit a target. Alira. This time he's managed to get the ball out of bounds. It was good pressure there by Caleb Franks, the boy from the Western Magpies. Small forward. He's an energetic type, he is.
Well, he'd have to be energetic. How about the size difference between him and Alira right there?
There is. Darcy Cameron had front spot. Fresh air shot.
Oh, well done.
Now the ball is with Curry. Goes up forward and just interjecting there is O'Riordan. And he goes out to the outer side. And leading the foot race there is Kilpatrick.
As the siren goes, that's the end of it for Kilpatrick. And 16 points the margin at quarter time here at South Pine Sports Complex. The Sydney Swans 4-5-29 lead the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13. For Sydney, the goal scorers are Marty, Towers, O'Riordan and Stewart. For Brisbane Lions, it's Lester and Walker. And look, Sydney kicked with the wind in that quarter, Kanga. Did they make enough of it? Only time will tell on that one.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, 4-5. I mean, ultimately they kicked a couple late in that quarter to I suppose, really put themselves at an advantage. But by half-time, we're going to see how strong that breeze is and the influence Brisbane can have over the contest and how good the Sydney defence will be, having to withstand a fair bit of pressure, you'd think, going into their defensive half.
Well, we'll have a look at that very shortly. We'll be back with the second quarter very soon on NEFL TV. And welcome back to the South Pine Sports Complex for Round 8, NEFL TV, through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all the action of Brisbane Lions versus Sydney Swans. At quarter time, it's the Sydney Swans 4-5-29 to the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13. 16 points the margin after the Swans kick with the wind to the left of screen, the northern end in the first quarter. Bit of a swirly breeze, Kanga, but they, I suppose the Lions are kicking with it in this term, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. The Swans had plenty of ball inside their forward 50. Probably would have been happy with about 6 goals 3 instead of 4 goals 5 as we're underway for the second quarter. Smith couldn't take it with him as Cameron went early. Robinson, the ball away quickly. The Swans go forward, half forward in fact. Rose, Paparone at the back there. Bastanak, long looping handball. Keys. Likewise, just gives the ball over the top. Allison, a little bit of space to work with and chips the ball up. Finds Matheson. Keys runs through the middle. Over the top is Cox. Cox has a man moving forward there. It's Brandon Starcevic. So they have the ball at half forward. They'll wind up. Walker went short, but they'll go long instead now. Archie Smith is the target. On the side there also is Mays. He's onto the ball now, but set upon. Ballenden tries to clear the path, but only did so for the Swans. And Fox gets it to Alira, and they take it to the outer side with Rose the target.
Well, it bounces kindly for Rose, who took it full-chested. Came out to Styles. He kicks long down the line. Oh, good contest. Towers was crunched into there by Liam Dawson. Good strength to follow up and go for the ball for Dean Towers. Stuck underneath him and several others on the other side, including the young Lion in Justin Curry. We'll get a ball up on the outer side. That was probably one of the best pieces of movement, Kanga, that the Lions have produced so far in this game, from defensive 50 all the way up to the front.
It looked far more fluent, didn't they?
Absolutely, as Smith taps it down. Curry couldn't quite control it. It's against the boundary line. The Swans tiptoeing. It's slapped over by Tip and Woody. Now what's going to happen here? Bastanak will get there first. Amati wraps him up, grabbed the arm.
Just the first contact was a little bit high.
Gee, was a feather high. It was a good tackle otherwise, but Brisbane get the free kick. Cedric Cox, handball over to Allison. Allison, Matheson, quick hands back to Cox. This is better from the Lions, running football. They get it to Lester. Lester chips it to centre half forward and finds Sam Mays. Mays has got a couple, including Archie Smith, and hits him 40 metres out on a slight angle. Smith has got a runner. It's Jake Barrett. Chips it over. He's on a tighter angle, but he's closer. 45-degree angle, 30 metres out.
We haven't seen much of Jake Barrett in this game so far. I like to refer to him as Count Olaf because he's a bit sneaky.
A bit sneaky. Well, he's a product of the Temora area in New South Wales. He played the one game with the GWS Giants in the seniors. He's 22. Last week kicked 3 goals, 1, so he's in some form goal-kicking-wise. Comes in, uses the left foot, and then there's the commentator's curse right there. He hooked it straight across the face of goal, didn't bother the scorers, and it'll be touched off hands for a throw in right forward pocket.
Just off the instep, that one, wasn't it? Wasn't his best effort.
Lucky to hit his foot at that stage.
Well, we're right behind it here. NEFL TV, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Ball hit down to the front of the contest, O'Riordan. Happy for the ball to trickle over the line in front of him.
Let's see how Sydney go with getting the ball out of this area. The Lions really struggled in that first quarter with Sydney set up defensively. Just a little bit of the wind holding the ball up.
Well, they've, like the Lions, have got all numbers forward of centre. Robinson couldn't take it with him. Ballenden's there. Cameron on hands and knees. Tries to get it up towards Towers. He feeds the ball out. They're just messing around a little bit here with it. Barrett lays a tackle. There'll be a ball up here in that forward pocket still. So far, no good in terms of the Swans extricating it from defence.
3 minutes played in the second term. No score to either side. Still the quarter-time score of 29-13. 16 points the margin in favour of the Swannies. Ball taken by Robinson. He loses it. Matheson tackled into the ground. Tom Bell tries to burrow his way through. Now, there's a whistle. It was the umpire who was right in the middle of the ground, and there was a wrestle going on behind the play. Umpire Chris Mellon came from the middle of the ground, came running in. He's spotted a free kick. Still not quite sure who that's going to go to at this stage. It looks like it will be a Brisbane free kick, and it's going to be going to Corey Lyons. obviously involved in that wrestle there. Could have been with Dean Towers.
It'll go to Bell, actually.
Oh, Tom Bell. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So Corey Lyons trying to milk that free kick, and then that actually had to hand it back to Tom Bell. So Tom Bell, this is the knock that has been on the young man, is his finishing skills. Let's see what he can provide for Brisbane here. From about 25, slide angle, Tom Bell does it, and there's a little bit of stink afterwards as well as Corey Lyons goes up to the Sydney defence and says, thanks for that one, lads. There's a bit of feeling here, a good rivalry between the Sydney Swans and the Brisbane Lions here in the Neefle, and the score 4-5-29 to the Swannies, 3-1-19 for Brisbane, back to 10 points the margin.
Well, you always know these contests at this level. The last probably few years, it's been intense rivalry, and a rivalry at its best in this competition. The Swans have seemed to be the bridesmaids in the Neefle for the last few years, while the Lions, they came out on top last year. And the Lions, they close to 10 points early in this second quarter. Well done by Tom Bell. I think there'll be a little bit more push and shove, a bit of angst that happens to come yet. Archie Smith went early and high. This ball at ground level. Keys ran past it. Paparone doesn't. Gives the handball over the top. In the path of Bell. Just coming back the other way. The Swans' defence, they did well. Now the ball comes forward. That was from Bailey Stewart, but just at half back, mopping it up nicely was Jack Frost. And then Bastanak, he can move it to the outer side.
Liam Dawson, who's been good so far today, just chips it forward, puts his teammate in Matheson under a little bit of pressure, but Matheson's equal to the task. It's a worm-burning pass, just gets to Walker, who did well to shovel it back. Starcevic misses Bastanak. Now it's Corey Lyons, handball over the top to Walker. Allison kept running, received the ball as well. Good running from the young man and a long kick. What a beauty! Jacob Allison on the run can deliver a cracker.
Well, the build-up was good. They won the ball in the contest and then moved it by hands, and the run, the carry, one of the great assets that Jacob Allison has. His ability to cover the ground, and we just saw with that kick another great asset that he has. A booming right foot.
Well, that's the way the Lions love to play their football. You see it filtering through over the last several weeks in the senior side as well. They like to run and gun with the ball, and the handball receives the big measure of the way it goes. Jacob Allison's always racking up good numbers there, but just unleashed. When you've got a weapon like that, I can't understand why more players just don't have a red-hot crack at it, because goals are a premium.
Back in the middle, Darcy Cameron kicks it with the outside of the right boot, but couldn't get it forward too far. Now Robinson, first real foray forward. Frost and Armadi at the back, and kicks it a check side. That's the answer, 2 for him. And it's their first movement of genuine nature deep inside their forward 50, and all of a sudden they kick a goal.
He's athletic, Joel Amati, isn't he, Kanga? He's got some real athletic ability. He's 196 centimetres. He weighs about 90 kegs as well. So he's got the size, but he's got that athletic ability to get rid of his opponent, get the ball, and have the presence of mind to drop it onto the outside of the right shoe to bang it through.
Boy from Mentone Grammar. Played with Sandringham Dragons in the TAC Cup. And originally a Beau Morris boy. So hanging around the general vicinity of the Warn. Shane Warne does down St Kilda way.
Well, he owns most of St Kilda, Warney, doesn't he? At least most of Broughton as well. Anyway, ball back into the middle. We've got a game on our hands here at South Point Sports Complex. 10 points the margin. The Swans lead it, but the Lions coming. Smith beaten for it there by Cameron, who doubles up and drops the tackle as well. Dispossesses Jake Barrett, so it leads to Sydney getting the ball. Wicks kicks it inside 50. Big pack and a good, strong mark taken there by Liam Dawson, who's having a fine game. The former Aspley product now kicks it across to Archie Smith. He's got the run of Keys. Keys down the line. Finds the young fellow in Jai Keneally. Just measures a pass, does Keneally, and finds Sam Mays. wheels around, long kick, inside 50, and it just fell beautifully into the arms of Ryan Lester. It came with the wind and curled. He was sort of sitting at the back, ended up hitting him on the chest.
Well, he protected, he knew where the ball was going, and he just held his man off so he could just run into that space nicely, and he created that little bit of distance or gap between he and his opponent, and just the timing was impeccable to get it on the chest.
30 disposals and a goal last week. Ryan Lester comes in, and that is a spot-on finish from Ryan Lester. Kicks his second. And we're back to a 4-point margin. The Swans 5-5-35 to the Lions 5-1-31. We've played 10 minutes of the second term. This is NEFL TV. Mark Kennedy.
Well, the Lions have been a bit more efficient going forward in terms of being in front of goals there. 5 goals won, and we've seen that at AFL level, the Lions very efficient in front of goal, the last few weeks in particular. And if you're efficient in front of goals, you don't need as many shots to hit the front as an opposition who can't be.
We've seen it all throughout this NEFL season as well. It is your efficiency inside 50 that decides most games, especially the close ones. And the Lions doing it well. The Swans probably ruining a couple of the shots that they let go in that first term at the minute.
Very nice conveyance of the football by Ryan Lester. We're underway again. Armadi in the ruck now against Ballenden. Mays. Robinson funnels the ball out. Wicks gets it forward. And Armadi with the kick. Rose. Well done there. Well roved there by Stewart. The kick wasn't as good as it could have been. No great penetration. Frost is there. He's got a few to battle. Brisbane might emerge with it. It's Paparone. Overcooked the handball.
Yeah.
And just getting the ball kicked out of his hands was Nick Newman. Was it by Ryan Lester or...
Look, regardless, it was a little bit of a late whistle, but Nick Newman definitely had hands over the ball and was appealing to the umpire as he was shaking his hand in pain.
Well, there's nothing like emphasising what you think is a free kick to you. Appealing to the umpire. It was just that handball by Marco Paparone that just missed the target that opened this opportunity up for Nick Newman.
So Newman, he's going to come in from 30 metres, uses the left foot and just squeezes it in. Sydney get their second goal of the quarter. 6-5-41 to the Swannies to 5-1-31. Back to that 10-point margin in favour of Sydney. We've played 12 minutes of the second term. It's NEFL TV.
Well, when you're kicking with the breeze and you've got the ball in your back half, you can't be giving cheap free kicks away. And that's what I feel the Brisbane Lions just did then. And Paparone it was who overcooked that handball. And while I'm going to say it might have been Ryan Lester there that kicked the ball off the ground, the ball should have never been there in the first place. So it's allowed the Swans to get out to 10-point lead.
You're dead right, Kanka. It's just that you've got to execute those basic skills running out of defence, especially. Handballs have got to hit targets.
Beautiful bounce. Middle. Cameron has the ball sharked by Starcevic, so Lions will go forward. There's Walker. It was a good contest. Running hard there is Keneally and trying to keep the ball in. There was Parks. Tell me he's a likely draft prospect. Luke Parks, boy from Knox Grammar, making his NEFL debut, was in the best players quite a few times throughout the National 18s Championships. Unlucky to miss out on Allies selection. Walker got the ball down in front, but Swans tried to clear, had the kick smothered, but now Towers goes with the little check side or banana. It's it out to Stewart. They'll just work the ball by hand forward. Wicks bustled over the line by Bastanak, so they got out to half back on that outer side, but the ball will be thrown in. 13.5 minutes gone, second quarter. It is the Swans by 10 points.
See Bastanak still on bended knee on the boundary line there, still a little bit groggy. He's copped one in the face. We'll keep an eye on him. As Cameron slaps it down, it's kicked out of congestion. Sydney down the other side. Good little handball came out of it from Wicks. They're going to be rumbling it again towards the boundary line. Jack Frost did well defensively, but Sydney come away with the ball. It's at half forward. Rose did beautifully. Got rid of his opponent in Dawson. Took the mark. Spotted up somebody he likes. It's Alir. And he gets rid of his opponent and gets the ball. Wheels around the left foot. And that's a little bit of a floating mongrel towards the goal square. Advantages Allison. Gets his fist towards it. Well done from Ling, who's on the field, and gets himself involved next to the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in there. Just that that kick just missed, and Aaliyah probably could have done a little bit better there.
He had some support, didn't he? And then chose to go inside and then go for glory on his left. Ball back into play. Swans attack. Ballenden had front spot. Matheson gets the clearance to the outer side. Leading the race is Barrett. Lyons clears the path for Barrett. It's his kick, and it's smothered. He kicked it into the back of the head of Darcy Cameron. Now the Swans, they can reload. Parks. And they're away here. Newman has the ball. Chipper over the top and finds Ling. Ling shapes to kick, and now he goes on that left. Looking for the target. At the back was Towers. Can't quite take it. They have the numbers, though. Stewart just sprays it. I put that one down as a one that they should have really got.
Missed chance there from young Bailey Stewart. Had a good game so far. Kicked a goal. That should have been his second. It's 11 points the margin now, the Swannies lead, as Jack Frost brings it back in for Brisbane. Kicks it towards left half back. It's got Lester. Was reading the ball in flight and then took his opponent out without the ball. Be a free kick to Sydney. And did his work there, did Ryan Lester. Dylan Smith has it for the Swans. Lions populating the defensive area. It's a long kick. This is going to favour Ballenden. It didn't make it to him. James Rose made a contest. Now it's loose inside 50. Lester enters the fray. Good handball over the top to Starcevic. Starcevic misses his target. Picked up there by O'Riordan. His ball smothered. Oh, tackle! What a ripping tackle from Ryan Lester. Dropped James Rose like a school case there, and the ball underneath. There will be a ball up. That's a senior body taking on the game right there.
Good bit of physicality. Cameron. Ballenden, he'll win it. Lions. Now Paparone just clears the area. Walker was first man. And when you're in play in front, you're going to be a good chance to get the ball more often than not. The kick didn't really favour a target, but it's giving away the free kick there was Robbie Fox, and it will be Jacob Allison. He kicked a wonderful long-range goal earlier in the quarter. 11 points the margin. He plays on quickly from the middle of South Pine Sports Complex, goes down deep. The ball over the back. That has gone through, has it?
It's a goal.
Jacob Allison from inside the square. It looked for all love and money that it was going to be touched, but it wasn't. It goes over the back and rolls through, and that's two bombs that Jacob Allison has produced, and the Lions back to 5 points of difference.
So that's metres gained. 120 with 2 kicks and 2 goals. Well done, Jacob Allison. What a ripper. And it probably gives you an indication of the breeze, Kanga, as well, is the fact that he got under that one a little bit, but it just went up into the stratosphere, got pushed along.
That has carried 65 metres and then rolled the last 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Jacob Allison, as we said, when you've got a weapon like that, might as well unleash it when you can. 5 points the margin. Got a game here at South Pine. The Swannies lead it. It's Bell with the clearance for Brisbane. Kicks it inside 50. Barrett got rid of his opponent. Swans defence under a lot of pressure at the minute. It's going to end up with Robinson. No, he can't handle it. Fox sold the dummy beautifully to Lyons. Has a bounce, then loops a handball over the top. Will he go back for the 1-2? No, it's going to end up with Tip and Woody. Tip and Woody to Bailey Stewart. Tackled immediately by Cedric Cox. Dispossessed. Tip and Woody goes in. Tackled by Bastanak. Over the boundary line. Will get a throw in. Game is lifted. 18 minutes gone. Second term. Neefle TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV. And we're proudly supported by the good people at Elastoplast. You can see plenty of the sponsors' product out there. Shoulders, knees, arms. Mostly on Tom Bell.
And Reece Matheson's head. The Swans. They'll come away. Robinson forced to kick the ball high. Keys is under it. He had front spot. He had plenty of company. There's a push on the contest. The Lions will win it. Bastanak will take advantage. Right in the middle of the ground. Doesn't quite load up the same way that Jacob Allison did. There's Matheson. Almost threw the ball out. Off the feet of defender. And that defender was Mitch Rogers. Hello to his parents, Andrew and Tracy, watching in Sydney. I know Tracy Rogers is an avid viewer and a fan, obviously, of watching her son Mitchell. And Andrew, former Geelong and Essendon player. As we see a blood rule come off. And coming off there, I think it might be Dylan Smith for a bit of a break. It's a blood rule.
Dylan Smith with the headband there. Coming back onto the paddock, Nick Newman. The ball is ready to be thrown in inside attacking 50 for the Brisbane Lions. They trail by 5 points. Ballenden gets it down. Bell immediately tackled. Stuck to him. Robbie Fox over the top. We'll do it all again from a similar spot. This time's the ball up and players slow to untangle themselves. You can always feel that extra little bit of niggle, the physical presence of everybody else around you. Darcy Cameron just slapped it down to Daniel Robinson, sold him the dummy. Now it's Barrett. Look away handball. Walker. Walker has a ping from 40 and curls it around. Will it stay in for a behind? No, it's out of bounds on the full. Be a free kick to the Sydney Swans in the right back pocket for them.
So the Swans bring it in from deep defence. Cameron was the flyer. Bell from the side. Dawson happy to take the ball over the line. As Fox lays the tackle.
4 straight goals for Brisbane in this quarter with the wind. And the Swans have kicked 2 goals, 1 against the wind.
As the sun just breaks through the clouds. Not a hot day here, but a pleasant day nonetheless. Towers spins out of trouble from the stoppage. Just tries to hit a target. Amati is that target. Frost is right there with him. The ball spills over the boundary line right in front of the interchange gates as we see a flurry of activity there as rotations happen. And the ball will be thrown in right in front of where the Swans are sitting down.
So we'll get Archie Smith and Darcy Cameron. Cameron worked his way to the front and got the ball down. It's going to advantage Sydney, but boy, Brisbane had the numbers there. Great little handball from Starcevic to Smith. Back to Allison, dances through 3 or 4 of them. Kick was affected, was a bit of a mongrel. Sydney rejected it, and it's kicked back out, and it's out of bounds on the full. It was Nick Newman who did that, and free kick will go to Corey Lyons for Brisbane. Takes it back to Cox. Cox wants to be getting moving. He's held up on the mark. Gives it back to Corey Lyons, who goes 45. Kick to Allison, who wanted to play onto the run of Cox. Well held up by Bailey Stewart on the mark. Allison plays on and delivers another long bomb inside 50. Big fly off hands. Ballenden at the back of the pack. The big fella plays Rover and misses from the top of the square. 38 plays 42. Swans lead by 4 points. The big fella just could not straighten up there, Kanga.
No, he couldn't. And the Swans are look to go quickly on the rebound. Towers out towards Rose. The spoil came. So mopping it up there was Dawson and also Mays. He has the ball. The ladder. Back inside forward 50, and just getting under the ball was Ballenden. And O'Riordan, he took the defensive mark, and the Swans can come out to the commentary side of the ground. Keys spoils Cameron, does well. Bell, quick one up. Handball doesn't find Starcevic, but just getting onto it quickly and going around the corner was Franks. And waiting for the Franks and Beans call if he gets a goal to go up. Well, it's only a minor on that occasion.
On debut was a ripping snap. Just didn't quite make it there. O'Riordan takes the mark for Sydney. Plays on. Gives the handball to Walia. Handball backwards now to Kilpatrick. They're just getting tied up by the Lions' defence here. Can they get out? That's a dangerous kick. Keys has got the sit there and read it nicely as well. So the Lions do cut it off. The Swans finding it hard to get out of their defensive area as Brisbane did in the first term. Paparone now at centre-half back. He's got a player on the run. Good lead coming there from Curry. Kick doesn't quite make it. Curry does well to get there. And Liam Dawson did well to actually pinch the ball off Joel Amati. He kicks it to right half forward, and it's a wayward kick. Didn't find Walker. It's going to go to Robbie Fox.
Oh, that's not a good kick. You just turn it straight over to Bell. Bell has numbers right up the middle of the ground. Smith couldn't take it. Might be a bit of a let-off here for the Swans because that was a bad turnover. Lyons lays a very good tackle. Play on is the call. And now they come away. Rose from half-back. Advantage is paid. Ball close to the boundary line. Half forward now. And just killing the ball was Frost.
Jack Frost has actually played one of the better games I've seen him play today. He's just really read it nicely. He's had a variety of opponents, but he's killed off just about every contest he's gone for, which is I suppose the first thing you want from a defender.
It was only that one against Armadi that he's really lowered his colours to as Robinson's wrapped up. Manages to get the ball out, though. Styles to Fox. Fox tipping Woody. And that's a push. Yeah, hear the surprise in my voice. I didn't think there was much in it, but you play the umpire's whistle. Tipping Woody. Goes over the top. Finds Robinson.
I think it's a technique thing, Kanga. I don't think he necessarily pushed, but you can't rest your hands in the middle of their back.
Sets the ball up. Armadi ran at it. And just Bailey Stewart with the little left foot. Which way is he going to bounce? Not the right way for the Swans. And a minor is the result. Just extends the margin. Back out to 4 points.
As the Lions bring it slowly and methodically back in, Liam Dawson finds Brandon Starcevich. Nephew of the AFLW Lions coach Craig, kicks long down the commentary wing looking for Smith. Oh, well done, Darcy Cameron. Got rid of Ballenden. In between the two tall timbers, he takes the mark. Gets the handball across, and that's an awkwardly delivered kick. Matheson almost cuts it off. Robinson did well. Gave it across the Towers. Intercepted there by Keys, who did well to get the ball and then did well to get a handball away after being tackled. Robinson from 50 just kicks it towards the top of the square. Tip and Woody just didn't quite judge that one, and it was well taken by Ethan Hunt as they play on, and Paparone in the left back pocket.
Ambitious?
Ambition
early.
And capability confused.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right. But never die wondering. That's a poor kick out of defence. Only finds Alira, so the Swans, they can put it back inside their forward 50. What's he going to do? Just sort of shrugging his shoulders here, not sure where to go. Now he's asked to play on. So after one step, he sits it up. Darcy Cameron's a target. Just tries to reach over the top of Keys. Bell just swoops in. Barrett. Handball wasn't a good one. Styles tries to go off the ground. Paparone goes to ground. Stands up and goes. Bell. Matheson. He just says, let's get the ball out of here. There's nothing there for the Lions, though. And being able to mop it up should be Flanagan. The ball over the top. Maybaum says, get it out of here. Towers was the target. Dawson was there with him. Cameron, well tackled there by Frost. Cox. Chain of handballs ends up with Keys. And Brisbane might come away with it. The kick was from Hunt. No penetration, so the contest is on again here. The Swans go deep. And Paparone takes a saving mark in front of Jordan Adams.
nice pass to Tom Bell. Bell, little chip pass, finds Bastanak. He wants to go back. Well, that's an awkward kick. Just manages to keep it in, does Paparone. Good smothering effort there by Ling. Kept the ball alive for Sydney. Adams, what's he going to do? Curls it around Tom Bell there in the position of goalkeeper. Then he bunted Tip and Woody out of the way. Kept the ball. Gave it to Bastanak. Bastanak, that's just got enough weight on it to find Ben Keys at right half back. So they still haven't managed to get outside defensive 50. They have now. Corey Lyons, 60 metres out. Down the line, Matheson. It was a reasonable enough kick, something that Matheson could have taken, but it went off hands over the boundary line. We're going to throw in on the outer side. Swannies leading by 4.
Brisbane have threatened at times, but the Swans have held strong. They've kicked a couple of cheap ones, but they've been right in this contest. Smith and Armadi, that to the former. Haven't looked real sharp at times, Brisbane. You're only as sharp as your opposition lets you to be. Well done by Cox, Paparone. Now Hunt. Is it off to Bastanak? Chain of handballs. Barrett has it. Gives it back to Bastanak. Well, I was going to say gives it back to Bastanak, but he gave it to nobody. Rose just came on the ground. Wrapped up there. Taking the ball was Adams. He's tackled. Hunt will win it at ground level. Bastanak has another opportunity and then butchers the ball yet again. O'Reardon couldn't quite take it. So the contest is on. And Keneally, he creates a good contest and he'll win the free kick, the young man. Well done to him.
Yeah, some of the disposal efforts at the minute, just a little bit fatigued as we go into red time in the second quarter. Keneally goes backwards and finds Jack Frost. You see Ryan Bastanak just sucking in the big ones in the background as well. Paparone, inside defensive 50, goes across to right half back and finds Jacob Allison. He's going to go for a pass. It was a good lead, and it was a good pass in the end too. Ryan Lester takes it on the outer side. Little 45 kick finds Walker. So again, they're just keeping the ball in hand and moving it down the outer side. Josh Walker has a lead on. Honours that lead. Drops it in front of Ben Keys, who takes a nice mark. He wheels around onto the left shoe. It's a long kick. Well, a bit of a sky ball. Looking for Archie Smith. He fists it forward. Bell, front and centre. Roved and has a flying shot and misses to the left. So 6-7 plays 6-3. Back to 4 points the margin. The Swans leading. Actually 6-4 to 6-7. 3 points the Swans are leading this by late in the second term.
Once they bring it back in, come to the commentary side of the ground. That's not a good kick. That's out of bounds on the full. Wasn't touched. Whatever you like, it's going to be a Brisbane free kick, and Bastanak will be the man that has it. It's not what you want deep into the second quarter when you're trying to hold on. And Bell, it's a hit-up target. Can roost it. It's just he might be able to slide it back on the breeze. He'd have to start at the right goalpost.
He's got the journey, Kanga. He's definitely got the power in his kicking. That's never been an issue. It's always just been about his accuracy.
Not too long to half-time. One of the last kicks, I'd suggest. Goes from 48. He started it more so at the left goalpost, and it swung further left, so a minor. So the margin 2 points. We're just about at half-time as we're seeing a blood rule.
It's Bastanak.
Nice to come off.
That fluky breeze again, Kanga. In this quarter, we were saying that the Swans were wasteful in the first term with 4-5 with the breeze. The Lions have kicked 4-4 with this breeze as well, and certainly a couple of gettable ones.
Newman. As the half-time siren sounds, it's been a good contest to half-time. The Swans, with the breeze, set the pace. Out by 16 points at quarter time. The Lions, they came. And now the game not far off being locked up. 2 points in favour of the Swans at half-time. They've been very, very competitive, the Swans. The Lions, they've looked a little bit off at various times, but, gee, the firm of Towers, Robinson, Rose, Maybaum down back, Alia, and also Robbie Fox, they've been in amongst it, and Amati's kicked a couple. They've been lively, the Swans.
I think they've been lively. You said Joel Amati's kicked a couple. We've also got Towers, Nick Newman, Colin O'Riordan and Bailey Stewart with singles. The Brisbane Lions, Ryan Lester's kicked a couple. Jacob Allison with a couple of absolute bombs. Josh Walker's got one. Tom Bell's got one. But again, a couple of shots from both sides in either the first and second quarter that could have gone through. So it's a 2 point margin at half-time, Kanga. It could be anybody's game as we're moving forward here.
Yeah, I think it is. And what I'm looking forward to is, obviously, with the breeze, the Swans are going to have to really put the foot pedal to the metal in this third quarter if this breeze stays as it is, because we know the Brisbane Lions, they've been rolling over the top of sides in this season 2018.
At the major break, it's the Sydney Swans by 2 points. This is round 8 on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. And welcome back to the South Pine Sports Complex for NEFL TV Round 8 action, the Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans. We're streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV. I'm Michael Price. With me, Mark Kennedy, calling all of the action. And we've got a real game on our hands. After quarter time, the Sydney Swans led by 16 points. At half time, it is the Swannies by 2 points. 6-7-43 to the Lions, 6-5-41 for the Swannies. Joel Amarty's got a couple. Dean Towers, Nick Newman, Colin O'Riordan and Bailey Stewart's got one. Ryan Lester's got 2 goals for the Lions. Jacob Allison with 2 crackers. And Josh Walker, Tom Bell have the other goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions. Kanga, it's been a pretty defensive game, but whoever's basically kicking to the left of screen, which is your northern end, they've been advantaged by a bit of a swirly breeze.
Yeah, they have, and we've obviously seen the Swans open it up at quarter time, and the Lions respond accordingly. But look, I don't think it's insurmountable that the right of screen can be a goal kicking end as well of some note as the game begins to open up, as some bodies start to get tired and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to see the way both sides really come out and attack this quarter, and the tactics they use, whether they're going to push back in numbers to really make sure that they block up that advantage by wind that the Swans will have in this quarter, or that the Lions are prepared to take the game on and keep their structure a little bit more as they try to attack in this quarter.
Only 4 goals to the right of screen, 8 of the 12 scored in this game to the left of screen. But we're just about ready to get underway. Umpire Chris Mellon holds the ball up in the middle of South Pine Sports Complex. Here's the voice of Mark Kennedy to get you going.
And it is a beautiful bounce in the middle. Alir in the ruck. So a little bit of a change of tactics there. Fox gets around Allison and puts the ball forward for the Swans. Just interjecting there was Dawson with the spoil in front of Cameron and also Frost. So we've seen a bit of a tactical manoeuvre there as Darcy Cameron goes down deep in order to try and expose a little bit of height, I think, from the Brisbane Lions defence.
And why not? If you're going to bomb the ball long in there. Darcy Cameron gets in front, though. It's sharked by Matheson. Handball off there to Curry. Curry to left half back. Big pack of players. Ball falls at the back. Alir gets the handball away. It was Nick Newman who was taken without the ball, but it's kicked into the middle of the ground. Bounces right in the centre circles fortuitously for Josh Walker. Tried the no-look handball. Really well done by Colin O'Riordan for the Swannies in the middle. He turns it over, though. Still in dispute. Good tackling effort there. The young player in... now, is that O'Riordan again? Got absolutely crunched. No, just getting up again. It was Luke Parks, the under-17 player from Knox Grammar, who's getting up holding his head. Umpire says there's a free kick here.
Yeah, that was umpire contact against Alir, so he came in from behind the umpire, so that's a fair enough free kick.
Well, he does say, I'm going back this way, so don't go there.
So Smith goes down deep inside forward 50, and the bigger body of Tom Bell wins the day. Although it was no slouch, I think it might have been Jack Maybaum was his direct opponent. But as a running midfielder, Tom Bell, he's got some real genuine size about him.
He's a huge boy, 26 years old, but he weighs around about 100 Ks for his size. He's
102 kilo, 188 centimetres. So as a running midfielder, you can't get much bigger than that in terms of being that mobile as well.
Let's see what he can do here.
So Bell, he's already kicked one. Comes in from 40 metres, starts it right and it stays out there. So the margin is back to a solitary now, a solitary behind. Probably not the start that Brisbane wanted once they had the opportunity to kick for that first goal of this third quarter.
They're the kind of shots that you do want to drill in this tight situation, this game. Nick Newman takes it out to the right back pocket. Daniel Robinson has it right on the boundary line. Everybody being held up. He wants to come across the goals. Finds his teammate in Flanagan. Flanagan over to Fox. Fox now using the left foot. He just traverses the boundary line. Bounces nicely for Amarty. Picked it up. Good handball too. Got it back there to Flanagan. Out of trouble. Put himself into trouble was Watling. He's back to Flanagan. Flanagan copped one high, trying to get around the traffic. And it will be a free kick to the Swannies. So Connor Flanagan made his debut last week. 20 disposals and 8 marks. Not a bad effort in your debut for the NEFL. He wants to play on. Unsure. It's a floating sack down the commentary wing. Mitchell Hinge can't control it, ends up getting the second effort. Handball to Keys, across to Bastanak. Bastanak back to Keys in the corridor. He's got a runner on the outside. Loops it over the top. It's Jacob Allison. Can he control it? He does. Wheels around beautifully. Then measures a pass. Then measures it to high for Jake Barrett, who is shorter. Mitchell Hinge did well to enter the fray. Gives it back to Barrett. Now chipping forward Paparone. That went about 5 metres to Bell. Then, kick straight into the lower back of Robbie Fox. That's sort of like a no-look smother, isn't it? As the ball's still in dispute across half forward for the Brisbane Lions. Just a few errant disposals there.
The ball up again. Smith at front spot. Looking for the handball. Not able to find a target. Was Watling. Lyons was in there. And we'll have Stacks on the mill. We'll go again. Almost a true centre half forward here. The Lions are attacking. Kicking against this breeze. They've got the first score on the board for this quarter. Alir comes away with the ball from the stoppage. Cameron and Frost. Ball brought to ground. Paparone, he's in trouble. Rose with the good tackle. Dawson somehow emerges with the footy. Comes out towards his commentary side of the ground. Newman runs hard. Right there with him is Keys. And happy to see the ball over. As mentioned before, Nick Newman, one of the best on ground in the 2016 NEFL Grand Final. As in a losing side, the Giants were just pipped. The Giants just pipped the Swans.
And roving this one at the front of the pack is Ben Keys as well, who won it last year in the winning side for the Brisbane Lions as Mitchell Hinge comes into the fray. Gets a handball away. Bell. Belted by Fox. Couldn't quite get the kick away. And entering there was Daniel Fleming thrown over the boundary line for a throw-in. Physical nature of this game, very impressive as Tom Bell gets acquainted there with Matthew Ling. As the ruckman gets set for another throw-in, Archie Smith versus Darcy Cameron. Cameron's got an armful of Smith's jumper. Smith was appealing, nothing happening. Starcevic, beautiful pass, finds Ballenden. Good mover is Big Ballenden, and a nice pass to Walker. Can't quite control the mark. Ball spills. Walker, boundary line, measures a curling kick, but it was well read by the Sydney defence. Nice mark taken by Angus Styles.
Styles right in the deep in his own defence. That is just a good kick. I was going to say it was a poor kick, but it finds Robinson. Does it get over the back? It does. So Rose, the racehorse, runs onto it. He wheels around, gets on his favourite right. Not sure where to go. Now he has run too far.
Well, he just took that extra step. I reckon he was up to about 15 just as he decided to go those extra couple.
A bit of a let-off there for the Lions because I thought if he took the game on there, he probably would have had the leg speed to free from the clutches.
Josh
Walker gets it on the lead and half forward.
So Walker, a little bit of a chop of the arms there came from Nick Newman. He goes back across and finds Sam Mays. Sam Mays, who's stuck on 99 AFL games. Kicks it forward. Matheson did well. Strong body against Ling. Gives it back to Mays. Another chipping pass. Finds Josh Walker again. So again sharing the ball, the Lions. Walker. A man open. There's Corey Lyons right on the 50. He's just about to play on. Again chips it across. Finds Mays right on the 50. And right leg pressed against the boundary line. So they've just managed to push it right across there, Sydney. Big kick to a dangerous spotter. Alir in front. Punched by Archie Smith. Ball at the ground level. Sydney should be able to clear. It's a scrubby kick. Not quite out of defensive 50. Jacob Allison cleans up. Handball back to Liam Dawson. It's a long kick. Back in the Smith direction. 3-on-1. And a very good defensive mark taken by Sydney by O'Riordan. And they will be away. It's with Watling now for Sydney.
Just sharing a handball. Gets it back is Watling. Kicks a short one. Finds a target in Ling. Just backward of centre. It's on this commentary side of the ground. Shapes the handball and then chips it. Like that. Rose beats his opponent cold. Ethan Hunt it was. And Rose will get it back. Beats two men cold on that occasion.
Well done.
A lot of coolness happening out there from James Rose. Robinson has it. Goes back in the middle of the ground. Cameron. Right in the centre circle. looking for a target. Tip and Woody right on forward 50. He gathers it as O'Riordan short.
What a great pass from the big man in Cameron there. Beautiful 40-metre kick.
And the kick, a little chip up, doesn't go the required distance to Towers. Wheels, goes high and wide, out of bounds on the full. Not a bad build-up there from Sydney, but wasted with that final disposal.
So we're still 1 point in the margin. Only the one behind scored in the first 8.5 minutes of the third term here at South Pine. It's a real arm wrestle between these two bitter rivals, the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans. Long kick towards Josh Walker was spoiled. Well done by Barrett, who gave the ball back to Walker. Corey Lyons now in traffic. Handball back to Walker again. Long kick down the outer side. Reading it well was Maybaum. Handball across. Sydney want to move it in the corridor. It's turned over. Well picked up there by Ethan Hunt. He's tackled. Sydney get the ball back. It's with Kilpatrick. Into the middle of the ground. Robinson. Kick inside 50. Spotted the big man. Hard to miss him. He's about 8 foot tall. Darcy Cameron, 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle to the right, and he can extend Sydney's lead.
Well, it was actually Nick Newman with that kick, Pricey. Those green boots, very distinguishable there, but it was a precise piece of work there from Newman to find big Cameron.
As we said, he is a massive unit. Hasn't bothered the scorers today. You can see the scoreboard in the background, seeing the Swans leading by a point. Darcy Cameron from 48 metres. Strikes it well. Colin Pye doesn't move. Well done, the big man. Extends Sydney's lead. 7-7, 49 plays 6-6, 42. 7 points the margin in favour of the Swannies early in the third term.
Well, they've done well, Sydney, because Brisbane had a lot of the play going their way. And they've just held them out nicely, and now they've kicked one of their own, the first one of this second half, to push the margin out to 7 points. So just a couple of little warning sirens going for the Lions, because
well, they will be
don't want the Swans to get too far ahead in this third quarter. Conversely, the Swans, they'll need to put some real pedal to the metal to kick away here.
Agreed. The Lions will be kicking with the wind in the last quarter, but they can't afford to let the Swans out in front too much, as Ben Keys rows this one, toes it forward. Archie Smith, it's a bit of a sky ball. It's got to fall at centre half forward. Big fly from Josh Walker, can't really pick it up. Smith now for Sydney. Handball back. It goes over the head now of Kilpatrick. Good handball there. Back to Paparone. Well done there by Daniel Curry. Justin Curry, I should say.
That's a good tackle there from the young man in, what was Nick Newman again?
He's forced to go get the ball.
Well, I think Paparone almost conceded there.
Yeah.
He didn't quite make an effort, and he was rightly pinged for holding the ball.
Newman down the line. Darcy Cameron flies hard, takes out Ryan Bastanak, who showed a lot of courage to actually back into the path of the big man. The ball goes over the boundary line in front of the Sydney Swans bench. Sure they appreciated that. The Swans bench giving Ryan Bastanak a little bit to go with as well.
Ball back into play. Cameron had front spot. The Towers it is, comes away, scoots away from the contest, kicks it into a dangerous spot. Leading the charge there is Dawson. Just finds a little bit of space. Not sure where to go, so goes up the line. One-on-one contest. Winning the ball there was Fleming. Fleming goes to half forward. Mays. It's in front of him, but Maybaum, he just got the fist on the ball, put it out of bounds.
So really enjoying the game of Liam Dawson today. Across the back line there for the Brisbane Lions, Kanga.
So Ryan Lester is a player that hasn't made his way back on the field. I think he might be heading off to the Gabba as an emergency later in the day.
Has been named as an emergency, so will be interesting to see how that goes. So the Swans with 11 odd listed. Lions with a few more than that. Throw in. Darcy Cameron actually slapped it down to his opposite ruckman in Ballenden, scrubbed inside forward 50, and Colin O'Riordan takes the mark for Sydney, playing well in defence.
He's out wide. That wasn't probably his best effort in terms of a kick. Now Allison just had a little chipping ball. Finds Starcevic. Didn't go the required distance. Lions. Bell. Now to Mays. Has his kick smothered. So the Sydney defence holding up well. Bell funnels it backwards. Hinge was there. Ballenden forced to lay the tackle on Adams. And so well done as the ball's tied up to the Swans because they've done it very well.
Yeah, once again, they've got the ability to basically constrict and not allow Brisbane any movement at all.
Bell got the clearance. And well done by Maybaum. Just manhandling the smaller man there in Fleming. Takes a good contested mark. The kick wasn't a good one. Won't like that one. Just undid his good work because then it becomes a stoppage. Couldn't find O'Riordan. Is what I want to say.
O'Riordan.
I want to put it on an Irish accent.
Yeah, you'd want to. That's why I can understand. 70 metres out, right half forward for the Brisbane Lions. They're pressing again. Ballenden gets the tap down. Beautifully done by Robbie Fox. Explodes away from the congestion. Kicks it towards Rose, who got rid of his man, then dropped a mark he could have taken. Wheels around left foot. It's a bit of a scrubber, but will it bounce inside the field of play? It does. And across the face of goal will be a throw-in the right forward pocket. He's just got that explosive talent, James Rose. If one day, if it all comes together for him, he'll be Dane Zorko-like in his forward 50.
He's back in the side the last couple of weeks. He spent a bit of time out. Towed off the ground there by Bastanak. Doesn't find Matheson. And coming away with it was Stewart. So the Swans, they can reload again. Here's Ling. Approaches and now inside forward 50. Shoots on goal. And just hung it way out to the left. And out of bounds on the full. So that's a let-off for Brisbane. And a missed opportunity for the Swans.
Another poor miss there. Again, the wind is swirling about, coming across diagonally that goal face, methinks. Long kick from Frost. Aaliyah monstered in that pack. Still got the ball down. Lions should be able to get out of it. Towed forward by Keys. Dylan Smith attacked the ball well, got rid of his man, and then measured a pass. Well done, young man. Hits his target in Angus Styles. He's got a leader on, Bailey Stewart, who's shown some good things today. Kicked one goal too, and it's a long kick inside 50. Should favour Brisbane there. Well done there by Paparone, who got the fist to it. Roving the ball now, Fleming. Gets it off now to Bell. Bell measures a kick into the Sydney bench. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, that's just poor, isn't it?
It's just poor disposal, but the pressure that Sydney are providing are making sure that every time a Lions player gets the ball, it is under pressure.
Luke Parks with the footy. Goes low and hard. Didn't look a good kick off the boot. And favours Dawson. It's been a good contest between he and Rose. Dawson certainly had plenty of the footy. But Rose has just looked dangerous every time he's got his hands on it. Smith from the back, couldn't pluck it. Bell, it's cannoned into. Now underneath there, also for the Lions, is Daniel Fleming, the boy from Maroochydore.
Yeah, agree with you, Coast. Agree with you, Kanga, with the Liam Dawson and Rose. The only difference being is Rose hasn't bothered the scoreboard yet. He got 4 goals last week, averages about 2.6 per game. So you'd almost call that a win for Dawson at the minute.
So Robinson. Now to ends up with Fox, who got it from Smith. And the ball goes not very far. And we'll have a throw in right in front of us here in the NEFL commentary position. And of course, our production brought to you by Bar TV. Now, sponsor of the NEFL is the Elastoplast Group.
Ruck contest, Smith versus Cameron. Cameron did well to make a second effort, go and get the ball. Well done there by Jacob Allison, went through traffic. Corey Lyons, back to Keys. Keys to half forward. Good contest, and the ball smashed away by Jack Maybaum, who's done a solid job in defence today. Again over the boundary line. At right half forward for the Brisbane Lions. They're trailing by 7 points, 18 minutes gone of the third term on NEFL TV. Smith versus Darcy Cameron again. Well done by Cameron. He used his body well. Robinson, Towers, good chain of handballs. Gets it away now to Flanagan. Has a bounce. He's got a leader on. Hits his target. Well done. Hits Schumack. They want to play on. Kilpatrick chips it over towards Tip and Woody territory. Bastanak robs him of the ball, loops a handball to Paparone, and a left footer will find Mays on the outer side wing.
So Mays has one further afield, but just interjecting was the Swans' defence again. I'll be Watling and that far side, so well done to him. Forced to go on the left, and that's not a good kick. And he finds Jake Barrett. He'll want to use his left as well. Goes deeper this time. Ballenden through his hands and onto the goalpost to register a minor. So one straight kick is the margin. As the ball gets brought in very quickly, it ends up with Nick Newman. Still in the back pocket. Asked to play on now. Down the line. It creates a contest, a spoil. Newman butters up again. Goes on the left foot this time. Over the top of players. Bastanak was there, but running onto it was Flanagan. Now Bastanak tries to win the ball. And they're just working here. There was Schumack, the boy from North Shore, as the ball goes over the line. Just slightly forward of centre on that outer side of the ground with the Swans attacking.
Temperatures dropped a few degrees here as a bit cloud cover gets over the top of South Pine Sports Complex. The throw in, Cameron double fists it forward. Robinson gathers, puts it onto the right foot, and it's a fluter. Goes out of bounds on the full, in fact, over the perimeter fence. Somebody will be going to chase that one. The big fella in the blue shirt did well. Not a bad little gridiron pass back to Bastanak territory either. So Bastanak has the ball. Chips it forward. Finds his mate in Corey Lyons. Just steady. They want to possess the ball if they can. Long kick. It was a big fly there. It was a free kick that actually went to Sydney. No, free kick actually went to Brisbane. It went to Mays. Obviously buffeted out of that contest. Gives it to Allison now. They move it. Chain of handballs to Bell. Bell. There's Maybom favoured by the kick and the height advantage. He ends up getting the ball at ground level anyway. Handball to Fox, who juggles it beautifully. Has a bounce. Just sort of steadies himself. He's got Tip and Woody on his own. Commentary wing. Tip and Woody takes the mark. Has a bounce. Takes off. Wants to spear a ball to Marty and does. Lowered his eyes again, did Adam Tip and Woody, and finds Joel Amati, who kicked 2 goals in quick succession in the first and second quarters. And he'll have a shot at his third from around about 50 metres.
I think Adam Tip and Woody was actually coming off for a rotation, then saw the ball coming his way, so doubled back and got involved. So that was good presence and awareness by Tip and Woody to get it to Amati.
So 4 goals last week for Joel Amati, shooting for his third. Just inside 50, it's off the instep, it's going wildly left. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. That's a couple to that end that the Swans have wasted, and again, it's a let-off for the Brisbane Lions. Still one straight kick in favour of Sydney.
Brisbane bring it back in. Cameron was under it. Mays was there as well, but Fox will emerge with it. Cunning is Fox. Kick inside forward 50. Bastanak with a big spoil. There's a push on play, and it will go the way of the Sydney Swans.
Bailey Stewart.
And Bailey Stewart will be the man.
Well, he's had 3 shots at goal. He's kicked 1 goal too. Lively. He's been a lively customer up forward for most of the day, the boy from East Coast.
I like his endeavour and his run. Not that much of him.
Gets involved, doesn't he?
79 kilos. Just 180 centimetres. It's that midfield type. Right in front of goals there. Swings it back and slides it through for his second. And Bailey Stewart kicks a very important goal for the Sydney Swans, extending their lead out to 2 straight goals, 8-7. The Sydney Swans 55 points, leading the Lions 6-6-43. We've played 22 and a half minutes of this third quarter.
Bailey Stewart kicked the first goal of the game after 3 minutes, and 22 minutes into the third quarter, he kicked his second. Been a contributor all the way through in between as well, so takes the Swans out to 2 straight goals. It's something that they'd be looking to extend before the end of this third quarter. The Lions want to hold them, but great contest here again between 2 traditional rivals in the near full, Brisbane Lions and Sydney Swans. Back down in the middle, Darcy Cameron gets it onto the left foot. Kicks it inside 50. Beats all comers. Jack Frost is going to make it towards the ball first. He hits it towards the boundary line. Sydney players have appealed for deliberate, and the umpire said, yep, no other intention. So Joel Amati will have the free kick. He's hard pressed against the boundary line. He's looking to give it off inboard. He just missed one from dead in front. Let's see what he does here. He's exhausted all options. He's holding the ball for a check side. Has a crack at it. And kicks it out of bounds on the full. So that's at least 3 out of bounds on the full to this end. The Swans have wasted on this occasion.
Well, I've got to say, that's probably a bit of justice served there, because I thought Jack Frost was actually reaching very much for the ball, and if he was to get any semblance of the hand on the ball, he had to go that way. Brisbane had just about messed this up. Barrett tries to spin out of trouble, can't do so. Wicks puts him to ground.
There's a little bit of venom in that tackle too, Kanga. Some great tackling today. A little bit of extra spice involved in a couple of them.
Smith again. At front spot. Ball doesn't go very far. Robinson fed the ball back. Chain of handballs. O'Riordan kicks a little worm burner. And Newman, he doesn't mind a goal. He loads it up and kicks it through. Nick Newman, second one for him. And the Swans, they make their move. Out to a 3-goal lead. Entering time on of this third quarter, 9-7-61 Lions, 6-7-43.
Well, that's taking your chances, isn't it? Just running to the arc of 50, using your skills and backing yourself to knock it through. That's the experience of Nick Newman. He's a very good player. Last week he kicked two goals as well, had another 32 disposals. Rookie elevation from Frankston. He's been a great part of the Sydney Swans organisation for quite some time now, and he's put them 3 goals in front late in the third term, exactly where they would like to be. The Brisbane Lions, can they answer here? Umpire bangs it down. Darcy Cameron done a sterling job in the ruck. The ball sharked by Bell. Kicks it inside 50. Aaliyah was outpointed there, roving front and centre for Brisbane. Keneally can't quite handle it. Sydney now through Maybaum. Handball back to Aaliyah. Robbie Fox enters, gets around his opponent. Again, they're going to move it through. Comes to halfback. Angus Styles. I was going to call him Harry Styles. How good am I going? Daniel Robinson gives it now back to, my friend Harry. Dean Towers, tackled, gets the handball away. Sydney turn it over. Jack Frost, good tackle of Marty. But the Lions, they've got the numbers across half-back, and they'll take it down the corridor. There's a bit of a wrestle going on behind the players. Ben Keys kicks it inside 50. He'll direct it, and Aaliyah straight down his nanny goat, and Sydney will be able to bring the ball back out.
Well, they've just been very good defensively and around the contest. They've been able to spread nicely at various times. That's not a good kick, though. And that's Nick Newman that turned it over. He was looking for a target inboard and only ended up finding young man in Jai Keneally.
Yes, Nick Newman, we're just singing his praises for his composure as an experience, and then he drills one down the throat of an academy player waiting inside 50, just going for that extra cute kick inside defence. So good luck to Jai Keneally on this shot.
Boy from Springwood comes in, kicks it from 40, gives it a fair ride. It looks on target, and it is. An important goal for Brisbane late in this third quarter, bringing back the margin to 2 straight goals. The error came from Newman. The finish came from Keneally.
Yep, and Nick Newman, the hero 1 minute, and then not the next. You know, I see the coaches on the bench, Newman. No, you can't do that. There's 12 points the margin. This is a cracking game at the South Pine Sports Complex, and we expected a close game between Brisbane and Sydney. We're getting it right now. Late in the third term, 2 straight goals, and see what Brisbane can keep going with. Sydney Swans just holding sway. the Lions will have the advantage of that swirling breeze to the left of screen, the northern end, in the final term. As the ball goes down in the middle, Smith slaps it down. Still in dispute. Getting it out now, Sydney through Towers. Looping handball over to Daniel Robinson under pressure. He gets a handball away to Wicks. Wicks inside 50. Rose is dangerous. Just willed himself to that contest. Got in front of Mitchell Hinge, took the mark, and James Rose can impact the scoreboard here.
Well, he's got that electric bit of speed and closing speed if he's going to tackle and speed to get to the front of the contest. And that was very much on display.
Here he comes, James Rose. As I said, 4 goals last week. Hasn't troubled the scorers today. Leans back. Goal umpire does a bit of work, but it gets through. Sydney take it back out to a 3-goal lead. 10-7-67. The Lions 7-7-49. We've played 29 minutes of the third term. This is NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV. We've got a cracker, Kanga.
Well, we certainly do, and it's built off the fact that Robinson, Towers, and Fox in the middle of the ground have really controlled that hard ball, the clearances around their contest. I mean, Darcy Cameron and Archie Smith have had a titanic struggle in terms of their hit-outs and so forth, but it has been the small men around that contest that have controlled things for the Swans and allowed, on that occasion, Rose to come through.
So James Rose becomes the 7th goal kicker for the Sydney Swans, spreading it around.
Beautiful bounce. Smith went early, got his hand on it. Cameron, though, gets the clearance with the kick. It was a scrubby one. Rose, he was the goal kicker. He falls over. Ling falls over as well. Towers got it from Rose and then just roosted very high. And Cedric Cox, we haven't seen a lot of Cedric Cox today. Just takes a good defensive mark, but then just doesn't hit a target. Trying to exit the ball out of defensive 50. And right on that 50-metre line, the ball will be thrown in as he misses his target.
Just overcooked the kick. So that's 4 goals straight for Sydney. When I say 4 goals straight, they've kicked about 3 or 4 out of bounds on the full as well, to the left of screen, the northern end. Only the 1-goal to the right of screen against the wind for the Brisbane Lions in this term as Barrett roves it, kicks it straight up in the air, and that'll do it. That's 3-quarter time. After quarter time, Sydney led by 16 points. They led by 2 points at halftime, and they are now lead by 18 points at 3-quarter time. The goal scorers for Sydney, Nick Newman's got 2, Joel Amarty's got 2, Bailey Stewart's got 2, singles to James Rose, Darcy Cameron, Dean Towers, Colin O'Riordan, and for the Brisbane Lions, 2 to Ryan Lester, 2 to Jacob Allison, singles to Bell, Walker and Jai Keneally. It's 18 points, it's 3 goals the margin, Kanga. Lions with the wind basically to the left of screen after this quarter. Can they bring it home?
Well, they're going to have to really wrestle control around that contest to be able to get the ball forward with any sort of fluency. The Swans have been very good defensively in the way they've structured up and the way they've set up and the pressure they've been able to put on and the work, the sheer workload of their players to be able to push back in numbers and then impact and spread the other way. So the Lions have got a task in front of them, but they've only lost once this year. We know that they'll keep coming.
They will keep coming, and we'll find out exactly what happens in the final quarter very shortly on NEFL TV.
Tango. Boom. And we're excited. Now, let's bring it over, big fella. Come on. We're going to get rain. I hope it doesn't rain at the moment. Please don't rain.
Welcome back to Neefle TV, Round 8 action, South Pipe Sports Complex. Michael Price, Mark Kennedy calling all of the action of Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans with our broadcast partner Bar TV. This is Neefle TV. The Swans lead it by 18 points at three-quarter time after they led by 16 at quarter time and 2 points at half time. We have got a cracker here. The Lions kicking with the breeze to the left of screen at the northern end, and this is Mark Kennedy.
And we are underway. Oh, no, we're not.
Oh,
we'll go again.
Start. Don't you hate that? You time it beautifully and then they just...
Anticlimactic as the players will reset.
Harder skill. Have you ever tried bouncing it? I hit myself in the face.
Level 1 umpire. Thank you. And high tackle to get us underway. There'll be Robbie Fox who gets it. Gives it across now to Robinson. Inside forward 50. Frosthead front spot. And win the ball. He gets it off to Bell. Bell's had a lot of it. Gives it off to Barrett. Not one of his best games by his standards. Former GWS player. And Walker gets it on the lead. They've been able to hit up targets, but they've just had no real great fluency. The Brisbane Lions at various points in time. They're forced to chip around again. Hinge. Not sure where to go. He'll be asked to go now, though. Loads up on the left foot. Goes high. Walker's the target. Forced to spoil, though. And right in front of us here in the Neefle TV commentary position. The ball will be thrown in. Opening exchanges last quarter. Just a minute and a quarter.
So it's a slow start to the final quarter. The Lions still trailing by 18 points. Sydney doing it well as Darcy Cameron smacks it back down in front of himself. And Tom Bell and Robbie Fox escort the ball over the interchange gates. We'll get another throw in on the commentary box side. It's been a tight struggle all day. As I said, Sydney led by 16 points at quarter time and by 2 at half time. Now 3 goals in front. Robinson gets the ball away under pressure from Starcevic. Now Barrett back to Walker. Inside 50. Matheson used his body well at the back of the pack. Can he control it? Oh, good bump. Maybaum just got rid of Matheson. Got the ball. And unfortunately, Sydney's defence turned it over. It was off the outside of the boot and out of bounds on the full. It was good work from Maybaum, but Matheson ended up with the ball regardless. He's right on the boundary line, 30 metres out. If he was going to have a ping at them, he'd have to basically kick it to the middle of the goal square and hope the breeze curls it through. He runs around and tries the curl around right footer. It just did not have the sharp curl on it that it required, and 1 point result. So 10-7-67 to Sydney, 7-8-50. It's now 17 points the margin in favour of the Swannies.
The right methodology, but not the right finish. Bell and Armadi. Bell, front spot, but Armadi will come up with the ball. Quick handball off to Fox. Fox just finds a path through. It's a kick away. 1-on-1 contest. Dawson and also Tip and Woody. Hinge at ground level. Has to kick it, which it just plays to the advantage of the Swans. Now where there is Wicks. If it gets to Rose, they're in a good position, but it doesn't. Bastanak. Dawson. Now to Bell. Probably had a handball over the top there. And now the ball will end up with Hinge. Very close to the fence there and takes a good mark under pressure.
Yeah, under pressure from Dean Towers. He was right on top of him. The Lions players on the outer side of the ground were absolutely filthy that the ball didn't get spread immediately to that fat side. Hinge, long to left half forward. Matheson at the back, flies for mark of the year. Nicely rowed by Maybaum, who just kicks it straight up in the air 30 metres. Ball hits the deck. Fox will get there first. Loops a handball back. Puts Amadi under enormous pressure. That's the old Medibank handball as Jack Frost throws him into the ground. We'll get a ball up right in front of the Sydney benches. Just again, Only the one behind to start this final quarter. 4 minutes gone. Sydney lead by 17 points.
Well, and there by Ling. Just got the handball away. Sydney is roosted high. Amadi's there and ends up taking a nice mark. I think he was trying to punch in the finish with Frost. And he took a good mark. Tip and Woody. Also there is Paparone, but Robinson, well, he doesn't quite get his kick away because he was over the boundary line. And the longer this quarter goes without Brisbane impacting the scoreboard, the more you've got to start favouring the Sydney Swans. And this would be a fantastic, I shouldn't count the chickens, but it would be a fantastic win considering far less listed players than what Brisbane have got out on the deck this afternoon.
Exactly right, as Smith does well. Keys curls it around, curls it over the Brisbane Lions bench. Out of bounds on the fall, and Sydney will get another foray forward here.
I said Brisbane just haven't been able to get it through half forward consistently with any sort of flow. That's where Walker hasn't been able to get into the game, and nor Ballenden.
So Colin O'Riordan gives the ball now back to his mate in Connor Flanagan. Long kick inside 50. Big fist from Hinge. Comes off the outside of that fist. It was Cox who roved it nicely. Tried to shoot a handball over the top there to Mays and missed the target. So we'll get another throw in right on 50. Again, you can see the massive numbers around the ball as Darcy Cameron and Archie Smith will go for this one right on the 50 arc. Cameron did well to get to the front position, but Smith fisted it forward. Well roved by Daniel Robinson. Curled it forward inside 50, but it's cut off by Hinge. Hinge misses the target in Lions, went through his hands. Starcevic goes back to get it, immediately tackled and claimed holding the ball. Good tackle there. It was Nick Newman. He's 55 out. Now, he's got some experience, so he's not going to be in too much of a rush. They're leading by 17 points with 6 gone in the final term. He just sort of chips one up, lays one up short of the green, so to speak. It's punched down. And in dispute, Tom Bell just hacks it out and kicks it straight back to Nick Newman, who's on 50. Now he wheels around onto the left shoe from 50. Nick Newman to the goal square, off hands. And one behind result. So it's a point apiece in the final term. 10-8 plays 7-8. Back to that 18-point margin.
Brisbane will bring it back in. Paparone goes long. Up towards Darcy Cameron. And he took a mark. He took a step forward, so play on it will be. Fox gets around an opponent and shoots for goal. It's hung it out to the left, and 1 point led off for Brisbane. And it could have really put the acid on Brisbane. Could have Robbie Fox then. Brisbane take it up the middle. Lions got it from Cox. Down the middle, Hinge. It's their first, but Robinson does well. Tip and Woody, he was taken almost without the ball. Styles, not the Harry, or he goes in the wrong direction, not the right direction, or the one direction even.
Beautiful.
And the ball from Robinson went high and only found Dawson. Just toying with a terrible haircut. A flagrant, almost attempted mullet.
Well, the mullet saw that in the Lions seniors playing Hawthorn last week. There was a couple of absolute cracking mullets.
Yes, was
Ben
it
Stratton and Hardwick. The two of the best mullets going about, but Liam Dawson doing his best to emulate that. We'll get a throw in. 19 points the margin. If the Lions are going to get back into this, they want to get a wriggle on as Josh Walker gets out of traffic. Handball now back to Jake Barrett. Chipping pass finds Mays. Good mark in front of Dylan Smith. They want to move it now. There's nobody inside forward 50. Just making his way there now, Ben Keys. So it's a long bomb in the Keys direction. Ballenden did well to get his foot into it. Now Matheson speculating handball. It's going to get cut off by Flanagan for Sydney. He goes towards the boundary line. It's come off his knee. Ooh, just off his knee and out of bounds.
I'm going to say if Jack Frost was deliberate out of bounds, I don't think the Swans player had any real intention the other way.
Well, he was struggling to control it as well, but I'm kind of on the same page as you, Kanga, as well rowed by Jake Barrett there. Loses the ball. Sydney, now Mays. Mays squeezes one through and couldn't quite get it to curl back, so another behind to Brisbane. 10-9 plays 7-9, back to 18 points in favour of Sydney.
Aaliyah Finds Newman on the outer side. He'll go further afield. Generally on the long left foot. Kicks it with some purpose. Rose was the target. And the only purpose he ended up having was kicking it out on the full. So Dawson lobs it up, looking for a target. Gets over the back. Matheson. Also there is Barrett. Goes forward, but Aaliyah is there. Just not getting it with any purpose or any real direction inside forward 50.
It's very hard when you're playing in front too and you get that hacked kick out that goes inside forward 50 and the breeze just carries it that extra half a metre. So those old football adages are not paying off there. Josh Walker at the back! Mark of the day for Josh Walker and the Brisbane Lions. Ripping effort, kicks it inside 50 and a good defensive mark. Well done by Colin O'Riordan. But Josh Walker, he's been clunking them all over the place. And that's a dead set NEFL mark of the week as far as I'm concerned, Kanga.
It was a beauty, wasn't it? Swans out of defence. Cameron and Walker is there again. Just need to change the structure, Brisbane, here. And Walker into the ruck might be one of those moves.
Well, they need to try something. They need to get 3 unanswered goals as we've played 10.5 minutes of the final term here, Kanga.
Fox. Well done there by Adams. The Swans will bring it away. That was Flanagan with the kick, but it only finds Paparone. Touched off the boot. So no mark. Ballenden forced to spoil. And the ball out of bounds. 3 straight goals is the margin. Approaching 11 minutes gone of this last quarter here at South Pine Sports Complex. Of course, the last time these two teams met, Swans led at half-time, got rolled by 50 points. Now, they're in the box seat later in the game. Come away. That was Adams with the kick. Bastanak, quick handball. Swooping on it was Mays. Paparone, Frost, so they're going back. Now to find Cox. And now they go wider again. Allison's the man. Kicked 2 thumping goals down this end of the ground in the second quarter. Goes wider on this occasion and finds Dawson. So not really going anywhere for a wealth of possession.
Very stagnant. Dawson's got a lead. It was well on it, and it was a well-taken mark too by Caleb Franks on debut. Hard pressed against the boundary line. He's still a long way from goal. Pops it up inside 50. Archie Smith at the front, Aaliyah at the back. It goes through hands. Well done by Towers. Oh, he's been tackled and lost the ball. I was just about to say he's weaving his way through traffic, but Ben Keys just stuck a mid out and got him. Dislodged the ball. It was actually the young fella in Fleming, Daniel Fleming, as the rain starts. Well, this is another layer to this game. But let's see what Daniel Fleming can do here. 18 points the margin, 12.5 gone final term. If he kicks this, and the rain is coming in at 45-degree angle, so to the left of screen, of course. He leans back, does Fleming, and hits the post halfway up. 1 behind. Vital effort missed there. So the Swans 10-9-69. To the Lions, 7-10-52, back to 17 points with the Swans bringing the ball out.
So Newman just goes to the tall timber of Cameron. Front and centre they were in front of him. Fox was there, just working hard at ground level. Offloaded on that occasion was Hunt. Now the ball back inside forward 50. The Swans have the numbers. And O'Riordan has it, just mops it up nicely, goes to the outer side now. They have a little bit of space. Wattling's there, although the ball just gets out of bounds in front of him.
So we were bemoaning the Sydney Swans' inaccuracy in the first quarter, but the Lions have just crept up with that Kanga. They had 2-1 in the first term and now sitting at 7-10, so they've only added 5 goals, 9 since quarter time.
Just around the grounds. Sydney Uni up by 37 points early in the third quarter against the NT Thunder. Rose does well. He was back in defence. And Fox, kick wasn't a wonderful one. Bastanak was in the way. Yeah, the Lions bring it back inside forward 50. And again, just no real purpose in what they're doing. Allison was there putting the spoil on Fox and the ball out of bounds.
So every player outside, 17 players on the field for Sydney were all inside a defensive 50 there with only one outrider. Now we have the throw in right on 50 for the Brisbane Lions. Darcy Cameron, who's done a cracking job today in the ruck against Archie Smith, gets it down to ground level. Rose. Or now Dylan Smith, can he control it? Back to Aaliyah. He's got to get this ball up and out. Tackled by Lions. Let's go the ball. That's holding the agate. Or deliberate.
Yeah, it's deliberate.
Well, he just sort of let it go over the boundary line. So Aaliyah, the initial fumble, now slippery ball, got to him. So Corey Lyons is in the forward pocket. Pressed against the boundary. He's going to go for the Stevie J look in and curl. Comes in outside of the right shoe and doesn't quite get enough of it. Another wasted effort for the Brisbane Lions. 7-11 they are now, 53. Now 16 points trailing the Sydney Swans, 10-9, 69.
Newman kicks it to himself and then comes out to the commentary side of the ground. From the back, it was a big spoil by Hinge. Swans, Fox, Smith, well done.
Oh, tackle.
And then wrapped up in a good tackle.
Well done, Ethan Hunt.
It was a good tackle. And it was on Connor Flanagan, made his debut last week against Southport. Racked up 20 disposals. Another solid display this afternoon. That throw-in's a bit of a short one. Bit of the ball getting a bit slippery. Plenty of players around this contest. Oh, that was funneled out, almost a throw for mine. Fox gets it forward. Bastinak's the only man there. Cox, he runs. They need to be a little bit more direct. That's not a good kick, though. He was more direct, but it wasn't a good kick. Hinge just goes off the ground. That looks a little bit more direct, even though it wasn't on purpose. Barrett at ground level. Just ricochets off bodies. Rose, he'll be happy, and that's a push. And so he'll win the free kick when it should realistically have been a behind. And you just don't know if they're going to need that behind a bit later on as the rain continues to tumble in. And I've got a bit of precipitation coming at me.
You've got to love the open window scenario when it's raining and there's a swirly wind. Just landed on the binoculars there too, just quietly. 16 points the margin. James Rose in defence, kicks long to half back. Well done by Towers, but missed the ball. Keys puts himself in for Brisbane, so does Jack Frost. Actually, there's several players putting themselves in there. For Sydney, it's Wicks who's tackled. Brought to ground right on the edge of the centre square at the traditional centre-half forward position for the Brisbane Lions. They're pressing, but they just can't get any real avenue towards goal at the moment. Slapped down by Cameron. Again, Keys in underneath, tackled, ball stuck right on the 50-metre arc. And we'll do it all again from a similar spot. 17 minutes gone, final term.
And I think you might be able to see in the coverage just the amount of rain that's starting to come down here. He's going to favour the Sydney Swans. We just saw Connor Ballard come off the ground. Might have been a shoulder. And now we're seeing a blood rule. And it's Ben Keys coming off the ground. A little bit of claret coming off the chin and down the throat. And Mays will make his way on the ground. Just notice Michael Price's fisherman's friend. A pack of fisherman's friend getting wet. I'll be accustomed to that. Having his kick smothered there was Lyons. Bell. Back again. Barrett. Now to Starcevic. He's upended by Styles. And plenty of players around the contest there. And it'll be over the boundary line and be thrown in. So we are dangerous time here. Swans will be loving this. And the masters of the hard ball today in and around the clearances. And the rain comes and it plays right in their hands with the lead. It's knocked out of the clearance, going the Swans' way. Dawson lays a tackle and then gets a tackle laid upon him by Wicks. And the ball up at half forward out of side.
The rain has come perfectly timed for the Sydney Swans. Still leading by the 16 points. And 19 gone, final term. Neefle TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. There's been a whistle off play. It's going to go to the Brisbane Lions. The free kick, it'll go to Reece Matheson, who's always in and under. Dean Towers pleading his case. So Matheson just forward of centre wing, outer side. Goes short, finds Tom Bell. Bell's signalling Babe Ruth style. I'm going to kick it that way. Long, right half forward. Walker, spoiled by Cameron. Mays tried a party trick. At the base of the pack, it was young Curry who couldn't get a foot to it. The ball stuck underneath he and several, right on the point of the goal square, and there'll be a ball up. Brisbane's attacking 50.
Well, they need 3 goals, don't they? So there's no point really messing around now. We're almost at the 20-minute mark of this last quarter. Ball just hacked out of the pocket, and it was Barrett who had it and didn't go the required distance, and then he happened to be over the boundary line, so the umpire rightly blew his whistle, and the ball will be thrown in. 25 metres around from the Lions' goal. Out of side, they are attacking. They need a goal quickly, one would think. Cameron at the back, Smith at the front. Fresh air shot, but Sydney managed to clear it. Whistle on play. It'll go the Swans' way, and it'll go the way of Dean Towers. And he's been a tower of strength today. He and Robinson, particularly around the contest, ably supported by Robbie Fox. Taking his time. Has one short. Finds that target. There's one of the men I just mentioned in Robinson. You can't see him being out of the side, out of the AFL side for too much longer. Brisbane bring it back in. Bastanak takes the direct route. Have they got numbers at ground level? No, the Swans have them. Aaliyah feeds the ball backwards. Well done. They've just worked it well. Maybom off to Newman. Goes out wide. Styles goes one direction, and that's forward. Just trying to go off the ground was the Swans player in Kilpatrick. Not real successful, but now it's towed forward. Leading the charge. This is Hunt, and he's in trouble. Here's Rose with leg speed. Can he get his foot there first? No, not on that occasion. They'll try and mop it up here. Walker in defence. We've seen him in attack most of the game. Now off to Curry. Curry just goes to a contest. Smith impacts it from the back. The Swans might mop it up here. Smith again. Not sure where to go, but now the ball's turned over, but forced to lay a tackle on Franks. And the Lions just hang in there. The ball on the wing in front of us here in the commentary position.
Just short of 22 minutes gone in the final term. As we see Brandon Starcevich limping as he comes off the field. Well done, Cameron. Slapped the ball down in the direction of Fox. Fox went one way and then kicked it straight up in the air. So it's going to be with Paparone. Paparone tackled as he gets the ball away. Swans absolutely desperate at this stage. Paparone got the ball back. Half smothered. Oh! That was a massive contest between Dylan Smith and Tom Bell. The young fella braced himself, and the bigger body of Bell absolutely poleaxed the young man. He's right in front of us, and he's getting up. Good guts effort there, Dylan Smith, as the ball gets back to the commentary wing, and Tom Bell's got to be very careful about now. He's gone in on Dean Towers there, probably a little frustrated, and Dylan Smith still looking a bit sick and sorry for himself. Kanga, how did you see that one?
Yeah, well, certainly the contact was immense between Smith and also Bell, and then I think a rush of blood from Tom Bell in that contest with Dean Towers, and that's cost him the 50.
And this could be a game changer. This could be the one that nails the game down for the Sydney Swans. The Lions already trailing by 16 points. 23 minutes gone, final term. 50-metre penalty. And the Swans will have a shot at goal from 30 metres out. Dean Towers. He's kicked the one today. A boy from Colac. They breed him tough down there too. Comes in, slides off the right boot, and one behind results. So still no goals scored in this final term. Sydney are 10-10, and the Lions 7-11 as the ball gets brought back in. Robbie Fox should be taking the mark, doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Lions at ground level. Barrett feeds it up. Mays open fields ahead of him, but Newman was there for the Swans, goes down the line. I believe that might be Bailey Stewart, or indeed, Bailey Stewart out there. Not sure where to go. So just goes long inside forward 50. Frost is there, taps it to himself, but doesn't make it there. Rose is there, Towers is there. Back to Rose. Frost wraps Rose up, and that'll be holding the ball. He almost made a terrible error, Frost, but he atoned.
And there is still a lot of feeling in this game. Jack Frost getting obviously a little frustrated there. He won the free kick with a good tackle. Probably, as I said earlier, one of the better games I've seen him play this year, or since his time at the Brisbane Lions. He kicks in the direction of Barrett, but it was beautifully cut off there. Well read. And well done, Matthew Ling, for taking it over the boundary line. It'll be another throw-in, 45 from the Sydney goal.
Well, credit to the Sydney Swans. They have made Brisbane play on the Swans' style and terms this afternoon. Had no fluency, no ability to open up the ground. It's a big open ground here at South Pine as well. So all kudos to the Sydney Swans, who've been good. Bell just tries to come through, couldn't do it. Towers couldn't take it with him either. Matheson, that'll be a high tackle. He'll win the free kick in the centre square. They need to move it quickly. 17 points is the margin. Goes out wide. Mays, well, in fact, it was Barrett. Now to Cox. Cox goes up. Don't quite get it to a teammate there. It was Newman, also with O'Riordan. Just shuffle the ball back, and Frost is the man at half back. They need to go. Frost waxes with Cox. Now Frost goes long inside forward 50. Darcy Cameron's back there in the hole. The ruckman does well. Gets the ball out. Amati can't quite handle it. Bell. He's slung off the ball by Amati. Well done, although he looks a bit groggy now, Bell. Some might say a bit of the karma bus coming back, but he's getting to his feet now.
Very slowly, in fact.
Very slowly.
Now, it was a good, strong tackle. If you're going to give him out, you've got to get him, and Tom Bell certainly got one there. It's towed forward for Brisbane. Well picked up there by Franks. He gets rid of it. Now it's Ben Keys from 50. Curls it back around, and boy, that was close. But another behind, so still not a goal scored in this final term. The Swans by 16 points, and we've played 26 and a half minutes.
So Newman, I'd say it's not a wonderful kick. We'll be interested to see what the umpire says here. He says no harm, no foul. We'll have a throw in. Of course, he did kick it to himself after that exit from the behind, so we will have a throw in. The rain still blowing into the commentary position here. Michael Price earned his $500,000 for his commentary this afternoon. Cameron, Towers, and now Ling just shunts the ball forward. Foot race, Paparone. Just doesn't handle it cleanly. Good tackle from Schumack. Tippenwoody's there. Hinges there. Just taps it to the benefit of Paparone then. Cox. Wicks in attendance. Bell. Shuffles it out to Mays. They're just messing around with it here, Brisbane, when they need to be direct. Bastanak goes down the line. Cameron's there. Stands tall. Takes a mark. Excellent work.
He has been an absolute monument today, Darcy Cameron. He's kicked the one goal, but he's been very good in the ruck contests against the very athletic Archie Smith. Kicks long down the line, and Jack Frost takes a mark for Brisbane. The sense of urgency just not there as that kick floated into a dangerous spot, and Aaliyah made them pay with a big punch. Frost gets there again, handball to Bastanak. Bastanak, that's a mongrel kick towards Smith, taps it off his hands to Reece Matheson, who just controls it. Bell goes in, uses his body to effect again, then gets jumped on. Matheson picks the ball up, loops a handball over the top there to Franks. Who's that player going in there? Copped one high as well. Could have been Corey Lyons. No, it's actually Jai Keneally. He's right on the boundary line.
Well, not a goal in this last quarter, Pricey, so can't be too much longer to go.
You wouldn't think there's much longer to go as Jai Keneally toes it out of bounds on the full, and you think that was just about end of section for the Brisbane Lions with 3 goals required, 16 points the margin. The Swannies have led this, and they have played manfully all day. Their defensive pressure has been extraordinary all day.
Certainly has. Cameron was there again. Burrowing in there again was Fox. Just goes off the ground. Here's Schumack. Gets it forward. Rose had the run of it, but it matters not. Because the Sydney Swans exact some revenge for their defeat by the Brisbane Lions earlier in season 2018 to record a 16-point win here at South Pine Sports Complex. They were fantastic defensively all day. They were in and under, hard at the ball. They had plenty of support cast, but the main stars for mine were Towers, Robinson, Newman. Robbie Fox, I thought, played a wonderful game. Marty was good, and, of course, Darcy Cameron. So the engine room really carried them through, and they had support all around, and great work there by all and sundry for the Sydney Swans, and they got the game going under their style of play and the way they wanted to play the game, and it was too much for the Lions today.
Well, to the left of screen, we've said it all day, the northern end was the scoring end, and it was 4 goals per quarter for the first 3 quarters. The Lions kicked with that breeze in the last quarter, Kanga, did not score a goal. Admittedly, the rain did come, but Sydney's pressure was the reason why the Lions didn't score, and that's the reason why they've won the game. No goals in the final term. It was 5 behinds to the Brisbane Lions, 3 behinds to Sydney. But Sydney, they've done it well, and as you said, got a little bit back on their traditional rivals, and it's a very important win for them in this NEAFL season.
Yeah, it is, and the last few weeks they've just started to show some wonderful form, the Swans, and whilst I didn't suggest that they could win today, they've absolutely proved me wrong, and the reasons were that they just didn't have the same listed players or numbers of players available, and of course before the game Gary Rowan and also Jake Brown didn't take their place in the named sides. While the Lions lined up as they were named, and they only lost Ryan Lester at half-time. And, all credit, absolute all credit to the Sydney Swans.
And I love the game of a couple of the youngsters for the Sydney Swans as well. Bailey Stewart started the game off very well. He contributed all day, and that's what you want from your younger players coming through and topping up your NEAFL side. Some great work there from Joel Amarty as well. I think they all had a go. Good to see Dylan Smith back up after that crunch from Tom Bell as well. The young man got absolutely poleaxed, but they showed some courage and they deserve their win today. They've won by 16 points, Kanga, and they moved to 4th place on the NEAFL ladder, and that's kind of where Sydney would want to be at the pointy end.
Yeah, well, they have a great history of being right there at the pointy end of the NEAFL season, and they're just building nicely once again for 2018.
Well,
but Brisbane, it's a bit of a hit to the guts, I suppose. A bit of a slug for them because they've been travelling so wonderfully, and they still sit in 2nd place, I think, on the NEAFL table. So all's not lost for them, but they'll be looking for a much improved outing next week as the Sydney Swans. They'll be looking to march on.
And we'll say farewell as the rain still comes in the commentary area here at the South Pine Sports Complex. It has been the Sydney Swans over the Brisbane Lions by 16 points, 10-10-70 to 7-12-54. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy saying thanks very much, and we'll catch you next time on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV.